What up? Nerds! Behold, unite to the nerds! We are back. Hopefully you didn't wait too long on this drop of this episode, because this is, a future MJ, present MJ. I don't know when I edited this episode, MJ, but right now, present MJ,
all-knowing MJ,
is here hanging out in the virtual studio, Dama Nerds, episode 65, here in the JP time. It is Friday, February 9th, 2024. I'm always joined by my Dama brethren over now in the Canada. He's been hanging out down with the Southern boys. I guess you would call them in Canada, Americans.
Yeah. We were in the south of America, but we back in Canada now, bud.
Rodney Ansel.
How we doing, nerds? All united as such in this little virtual nerd ball rolling down the big old hill.
Oh, man.
Kendama.
Exactly.
I hope y'all are having a good time. Look, I'm even throwing y'alls in there. I've been down south so long. Holy.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
But yeah, we'll get into that later. For the present moment, the present Rod, not the future past Rod, present Rod is in 8:54 p.m. Wait, 6:55 p.m. I'm looking at 18. I got the 24-hour clock. So 6:55 p.m. February 8th, Thursday, over here in Canada, Vancouver, BC, Canada. Bud.
Nice, bud. So it's going to be a good one, everyone. You've already seen who our guest is, and this is going to be a cool one to see. A different side of Kendama, someone who is in the industry, who's been locked in place, almost feels like, for such a long time with one of the brands that have been a top dog, maybe controversial, but maybe not a top dog anymore, but still creating,
still a top dog,
creating amazing products and having something special that other brands don't have. So, it is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, and that force
to be reckoned with. And that force that we have for episode 65 is the one and only
named
Ryan
Plourd,
a.k.a. Jewbacca, a.k.a. Jewy. Is that bad to say? A.k.a.
Jewy? Oh, yeah. No.
Why are you so good at the Jewy note? What the fuck?
I got it in me.
That was good.
I got that Wookiee in me.
Exactly. Ryan,
damn.
dude, thanks for hanging out with the nerds.
Yo, thank you for the invite. Truthfully, it is very cool that you guys asked me to come on here and
oh, hell yeah.
If I have anything fun to say, I hope so.
So far, it's already been good so far. I mean, hell.
Fuck yeah, bud.
But dude, of course, it's only going to be a matter of time before we got you on here. The man behind the factory that makes all of these wonderful goodies that all of us love to see and play.
Yes. Seriously.
I appreciate that. And what you said, MJ, I appreciate what you said, because I take pride in my work. So thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean the brand name fits hand in hand so well. The craft.
We haven't even said the brand name. We haven't said it yet.
For those who do not know, for those who don't know who Ryan is, because he is a well-loved figure within Kendama, especially among the old heads.
Oh yeah,
Ryan Plourd. From my understanding, because Ryan, I don't even think we've met in person.
We met in 2019 for that Dama.
It was 2019
for that Dama Nerds, but when after the Chinese dudes came in and busted in, then we started.
I remember completely now.
Yep. KWC.
Yes.
Episode, yeah.
I think we had a good 30 minutes, and then it just fucking went into a party, and it was we just went off for the rest of
the most epic outro
I don't know
of any episode ever.
I'm so upset that there was no recording.
We did
video recording of that.
Perfectly. The way he kicked the door and let them know. Wasn't there?
It was so funny.
Wasn't there tidbits?
I whipped out my phone right at the after
that's what it was.
After the SWAT team came, the party team came in.
Bond said, Kendama is a gang, and then the whole gang came in.
Dude, he kicked the door down. Anyways, for anyone who does not know what we're talking about, I believe it was episode 16. It's the KWC episode. the first time me
nerd homework
and Jewbacca met. I remember now. I do remember now. So I'm happy that we're, connecting again. So, okay, let's hear it straight from yourself, Ryan. A little background. Who are you? What hand do you have in the Kendama worlds?
Okay, so I guess what I do.
We're gonna get deep into it. A brief summary. When you're looking at the back of the VHS tape, trying to figure out what this movie is that you're about to rent. The little snippet.
Oh, this is fun. Okay, I would put myself. I want to say first camera op. I would be put that as my position, if that's what your kind of question is, and if not, I totally fucked that one up. So
I like that. No, I like where you're going with it. It's the first camera op of Kendama USA. It's not necessarily the cameraman himself, but
I'm not
the dude making the things that goes out the door.
Yeah, I make sure it looks all good and make sure it's built correctly. I'm the in more I guess layman's terms, I'm the guy who helps design, because who really designs a kendama is the kendama player, but I guess I'm the help designer and maker of craft kendamas for Kendama USA. We've done GTs in the past, and I hope in the future I want to work with them again. I was talking to Tio, so it's I want to work with you again. Ooh. And we've done a couple Terra things when the Smiths came down to Tennessee when we first did it all over. So we've done that. We've done actually I was thinking about this the other day. Besides the tall boy, I've been able to help produce one of every GT shape ever besides a tall boy.
That's the only one. Damn.
Yeah, and I was looking at those numbers because last year I wanted to hit 15,000, see if we could hit 15,000 Kens produced. We were so short, but we were very close to it. And I was just looking at the names and everything. I have at least made one run of every shape that GT has ever done, except for the tall boy.
That's pretty sick.
Okay, right? Okay. Isn't that sick?
But wait, so you said you were trying to hit 15,000 Kens. Is that total ever?
Yeah, since I've taken over the shop, not since I've taken over the shop, since Jeremy bought it and we started working there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting into deep waters right off the bat. Hey, let's.
Yeah, sorry. I make a bunch of different things.
Let me go into it from. Hey, maybe from my perspective can be a little helpful. So, for me, living in Japan and getting into kendama over here, and then after years learning that there was a community outside of Japan who plays kendama and is passionate about kendama. Kendama USA is the brand that was sticking out the most, was doing so many amazing things, who had an all-star cast of a team that really, really, really elevated everything. Even when you had that metal pin through the Sarado, we still bought those tributes.
The tributes.
You got us,
Yeah. Hey, man, when you think about it for its time, it's now you kind of look at it, you're like, ah, shit. But just also the science of thought process that's there. Yeah, maybe it wasn't the best version of it, but how we think of how we design shit. I know I'm just going off the rip now, but how we think about designing kendamas.
Yep.
It's the first idea where it was no, let's take the thought about what is the perfect height? Because what type of lunar, what type of slinger aspect do you want from it? And tributes, yes, in theory it's just what the fuck? But at the same time it's
it was looking at a problem and coming up with a solution, right?
Exactly.
Nobody likes restringing a kendama, and that's one thing that when, especially somebody who doesn't know anything about kendama, they buy their first one and the string gets fucked up because you don't know how to untie the knots. You don't even think about it or whatever. You don't tie it up in your bag. It gets tangled on everything. It gets broken, whatever. You're well, now it's broken. The whole thing's fucked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What Jeremy and those guys were just on a different level,
right?
I wonder, they're Jero comes to them. He's like, "What should we do to fix this?" Or one of them came to him and is just let's just try this out. And it's just
well, we got a box of rivets in the back. We could jam one of those fuckers in there. Just like,
So for everyone,
got a rivet gun.
For all
Exactly.
of the maybe COVID Dama babies who maybe don't know about the tributes, I was looking around
So
because
true.
dude, I have so many tributes from back in the day, and all of my past crazy Ken games that I did with Sue Lab for the Kendertainment
yeah.
channel. I always use that because it's the best for stringing shit up when I would have a different ass Dama.
Hey, case in point.
It's so quick. Whenever there was the I think Crom did a competition where it's like fastest stringing up of a Kendama, restringing. Like you need to post it. Whoever gets the fastest.
Use the
I was like,
tribute.
I hope somebody pulls out a tribute for this and
Oh my
just
God,
yes.
destroys.
That's
Any
like a
case,
little greasy.
For everyone who doesn't know, what it was a solution for wiggly cups for your cups falling off. And the sarado, the cups, they put a rivet.
I'd say it
right
caused
through.
more wiggly cups than fixed it.
It possibly caused. So I got
Saved a lot of
one of your,
string.
I know Kendama USA branched out and made some Daiso,
Ooh,
100
Daiso
yen,
tributes?
but it's 400 yen
For
Daiso
Kendama.
tributes. The sports Kendama. So there it is right there. This is a version coming out of wherever, Japan or China, but it's right through. So it is the easiest.
It was not that long of a spike, though. I will say that
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
it
is
was
the
not.
This is
off-brand
not
one.
this
it
is
was
not the
not.
tribute, everyone. So whoever's watching, you know,
But the idea is
the idea. Yeah, you have one over there, Rod. The idea of
I'm
having.
looking. I don't know where it is.
Oh, I
know
do.
dive
Hold up, Jacob
right
has
through.
one here.
Oh, perfect. But so this is the idea. So to have, and it was called a tribute from Kendama USA, and it was just the solution. And as Ryan, as you were saying, it was the first kind of stepping outside of the box, if you will, of what
It was-
Kendama shapes were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you
Yeah,
know, with
innovating.
every progression and innovation, there has to be something that somebody steps out on a limb for, to be like, oh, okay, it didn't work, but hey, we tried. You got to make those mistakes to be able to take the next few steps. So, Kendama USA had that, and that was years ago. And to give everyone a perspective of who Ryan is, Ryan, you've been working in Kendama USA for
This year is going to be the 10th year. Like
10
it
years.
was Black Friday 2014 is when I walked into Kendama USA to buy Kendamas. Like my journey starts back in late 2007, 2008-ish kind of era. But like, yeah, 2014.
Let's start there. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Little flashback noise.
Good call. Did you guys? Sorry to switch gears, but did you guys see how they're like calling out how they didn't really pay Stairway to Heaven, and they've changed it? Only the theatrical release has the Stairway of Heaven playing on the movie. All the other times they mix up the notes and like
What?
and like I think
I
they're
did
gonna
for
allow
Wayne's
it
World.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the first Wayne's World when he
First
played-
Wayne's World.
when he's at the guitar store.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's the Fender something
Yeah.
something with a whammy bar.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he goes into the dreamscape of him, and then dude covers the neck and it points to the sign.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
No
stairway.
stairway.
No Stairway.
No stairway.
Real
That's so
signs
funny.
too. Like they
Yeah.
actually have those in guitars. Sorry, I
I've
didn't
seen
mean
them.
to switch gears though.
Oh, you're good. We're still in flashback mode. We're on the way. So before that,
2007, 2008.
Yeah, so I first discovered Kendama when so there's this professional inline skater named Chris Smith. He went to my high school. And
Cool.
Chris Smith, he is a professional inline skater, but like during that time in high school, because he was a grade below me. I was in like my junior year of high school. So Chris went on a trip.
Yep.
And it turned out Jero was on that trip.
Okay.
And so like at this point, because I think like Jeremy discovered like Kendama in like 2005 or maybe 2006. Whenever you guys have Jero on here, he'll tell you the
Oh,
story.
we're
It's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
story. And so he already had one with him, and so like he went to go travel with Chris, and they were just like hanging out for like 2 weeks or something like that. And then Chris came back, and then he had one, and so we're in video production class. So me, my roommate Jacob, who Rod was staying with this past week, and so it was me, him, and his brother Joey, and like the rest of the people in the video class. But if you know Joey, that's the guy who got Christian Frazier into Kendama. So that's where like it really like you want to talk about points. You know, we're spider webbing all over the place here.
Yeah.
So Chris brought it back, and we were just like all kind of just we instantly kind of just dicked with it. Like we were just like, I get that. Like I want to play that. That's fun. And then we saw like what is it? Freedom Volume 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, classics.
And then Colin, I believe it was at 3 at that point.
Colin Sanders at 3? Yep.
Yeah, it's the one with Montel Williams. Maybe that's 3 or 4. It's just like, this is how we do it.
Oh.
I
remember the song, but I don't remember which one it is.
It's like 3 or 4, I feel like. But
I think you're right.
So we would hack like the school website so we could get to YouTube because like, you know, it's like 2007, 2006, like YouTube's pretty like still new. So we like knew the get arounds on like those firewalls. And we would just like watch the edits, whatever we could find, because we were like, oh, let's get like more of these. And then Chris was like, oh, well, I'll hit up Jero. And so we were like, oh, okay. I didn't know who the fuck Jero was. I wasn't in the inline skating community, but like, I was just like, all right, cool, let's go. So just came back with a Dama. It was a red OG red Azora. That's the one with like the lead paint, if you guys remember.
Yep. I have one of those right up here. Those things are so sick.
Dude, they're so good. Jacob has got the pink and the leaf green over there.
I can see it. Oh, okay, and the blue and the yellow.
Oh, it's just
the yellow, tree. And then that's a TK on the top. Yeah. So they were like, all right, well, let's go grab, let's hit up Jeremy and like order it. And like at that time, like Jared was kind of giving out special codes, and he wrote like, since like, in a sense, like Jake and Joey, they got like a few and they like gave it to a bunch of us, and like just Sling and Damas, they were like, oh, here's some like a code. And so like there was like a code at one point off like when it was a Kendama USA Big Cartel. So like that's when I bought it, but like it sucked because I wanted the gold Mugen because we saw the Kendama USA Pro Team at it.
Didn't we all? And
I was just like, that's the fucking one I want. Because at that time it was, what color do you want? So you don't know which Kendama you're gonna get. It was the red, the blue, the green, the black.
It didn't matter. So it's like the only
nobody
difference,
knew that there was a difference.
Yeah, the difference was colors. Yeah, that's it. All right, so what color you want?
So like they got TKs and I only got Azoras, weirdly enough. So like that's why I have 2 of the OG ones. Yeah, I know, right? Just out here.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had my stuff because like I'm in the middle of moving, so that's why I'm using Jake's stuff. So,
props, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't even have my computer and everything set up. It's like already kind of turned out over.
Yeah, well, you had some fucking Canadian taking up your whole bedroom for a week there, but I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for leaving the present. Sick present.
What present is that?
What, clogged up toilet?
Oh, that one. Yeah.
No, that was Stump.
Oh, that was Stump.
Just call him out. Sorry, Stump. I love you, buddy.
Oh, man.
No, that's sweet Ken.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah. That guy. Yeah.
I thought
you meant like I forgot something. I was like, what did I forget?
My heart.
Oh, no, I didn't forget that. Right. I didn't forget that. But anyway,
we're
still in flashback land over here. We're back in 2007, 2008-ish. You talk to Jero, you getting more Damas.
Don't know who Jero is, but you need to go get Damas, so you go.
Yeah, so like he like there was one time that we met up at like his folks' house because he had like a bunch of them there.
Okay,
and so like his folks live like I live like 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, and his parents lived like a little bit closer, so like it was like a 15-20 minute drive. So we went there to like pick up and then that kind of shit. So
you ordered from the big cartel?
He was so close,
and then you went to pick it up yourself.
One time I did order, like I got a it was a sunrise. No, yes, it was a sunrise mini orange when it was still the cartel.
Nice.
And so I got that from there, and then but my third one was a green sunrise, which I bought at Dama Fest from Jeremy's mom. And like it wasn't until years later when I saw her again, I was like, "You're the lady I bought this Kendama from like all those years ago." So
is that Dama Fest 2011, like the first one?
Yeah, it was 2011. Yeah,
nice.
Ooh. Yeah, so I guess like so I'd buy Kendamas, and then for a couple of years I kind of just like it didn't really boom until like a year or two later. Like whenever you hear like the big Georgia boom from like anybody who lived here, it happened right when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Or right after it. So I wasn't really in that scene because like beforehand we were just playing with like whoever had one in our class. And I saw Jake and Joey and sometimes I saw Frazier. Because like at that point I didn't really know Frazier. Like we knew of each other, but we didn't know each other. Like Frazier will tell a great story of like how he remembers me. I feel like I think it's always funny. But like, so I would see them, but I wouldn't really like go to any of these like jams that they had. It wasn't until like I was over at Christian and Joey's apartment when they lived with each other when we were setting up to do like a web series kind of, right? Because like my main background before any of this Kendama really happened, I did like a lot of video work. Like that's what I went to school for, and how I was going to just see my career life kind of going. So like we were just doing like a lot of shorts and a lot of like setup and trying all that because like early mid 2000s, so like web series were kind of like popping off. So we were like, hey, let's take a shot at it, instead before we do like try to go for like a feature or something. So we did like a lot of web series and some like writing stuff. So I was over at Joey and Christian's, and Joey was like, hey man, before you leave, like Christian's coming back, you still play Kendama? I was like, yeah, dude, I always have it when we're on set because like I never got rid of it. So for like 3 years after finding it, I didn't. Yeah. I just like played with like all of them, and but I never went to any of the jams or anything. So he was like, hey, stick around. Like Christian wanted to tell you something. I was like, okay, word. And like I got there and like I saw the flyer because like the old school Dama Fest flyer is literally a ladder, and it said like prizes, games, buy stuff, like tricks and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And they explained it. They're like, you got to come and see. You just got to come and see. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just. He's like, are you free this Saturday? I'm like, yeah, I'm free. Like, I'll show up. Like, why not? Yeah. I like Kendama, and it'd be cool to see like other people play.
At that time, what was your Kendama circle like? Just a few people?
It was literally like whenever I saw Jake and whenever I saw Joey, whenever I would see Chris Smith around, maybe he would sesh a little bit. But yeah, it was literally like people in our video class. Like we made an edit, and I still have the edit. We made an edit, and it was dated for like early 2008 because I think it was like our January premiere. Because like we had a video production, and every week we'd put on like a show, like a clip show kind of thing. So that was like one of the things that we worked in. We were just like, because we did like extreme backpacking where you take like a roller backpack and start doing flips with it up in the air and try to catch it and like roll away or grind. And like I have footage of us getting kicked out of a courthouse. They were like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We were like, oh, we were just digging around like you're just showing just like skating, like, but it's fucking wheelie backpacks
with a backpack. That's so funny.
Like ones that like a pulling suitcase style, but it has straps so it could be a backpack.
Yeah, some of them were, and some of them were just like wheelie backpacks that like you couldn't wear. Like the straps were cut or something. Because we would go to the Goodwill store, they were $1. So we're like, this is cheap product to buy so we can just destroy it. Because like
so funny.
We would go to like the thrift stores or like parks and like do that shit, because like Jackass was like
huge. Yeah.
So, but we were like, what's like a fun, like there's actually a lot of stuff technically we should have probably gotten in trouble for, because like one skit was us setting up a line of tables to get into the lunchroom. We were charging people tolls. Like we made like $13, I think, because like people paid it, and like we bought like a meal, but it got like shut down. And then there's this one time. Do you guys know what J-Date is?
To be
I don't think
Jaden?
so,
What did you say?
So J-Day is like Jewish
Oh,
dating.
J-Day.
So our buddy Connor, like, miss that dude. Like he was so creative, and he was just like, he came to me. He was like, dude, do you know those, like, you remember those videotape services that you would send in, like the Lonely Hearts Club or whatever? Like you're looking for a date or whatever in your area.
Yeah.
So like he was like, let's just do one with, like, since you're Jewish, like let's do one like you trying to find a date, and we're gonna like set up like a couple of dates like to try to go on and make just like see what happens. The principal got wind of the situation, and like we were gonna put this on like live morning, like everybody in the school is gonna watch this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we were like gearing up and like doing all this, and we got called into the office, and they're like, you can't do that. Like, you can't film that and show that in school. And we're like, why? It's funny. Like, he's Jewish and he's okay with it. Like, I thought it was funny because it would be a funny way to, like, you know, just dig with people and like see if like what a dating would be like if you had that. So in retrospect, it's a weird thing. I get that. But like at the time we were like, oh, it's funny. But I mean, yeah, I got in trouble for that.
Oh, okay.
Teenagers with video cameras, man. You do weird shit.
Dude, seriously. Like,
yeah, you're giving me flashbacks to my junior high days when I had like the video class and we fucking did the same shit, except we were skateboarding back more so, and just like, oh, so much shit that we didn't give to the teachers, you know, just like footage of us drinking and fucking doing dumb shit.
Yeah. Oh, God, I miss it. It's so much fun.
Good times.
Dude, but yeah, like, just a fun way for creatives, because like we just got to do the wackiest shit. Like, we convinced people to like just like stand in random lines sometimes, and we would have like bathroom rally races. Like, we did the like,
that's hilarious.
We like early Tim and Eric or like Eric Andre stuff.
Oh man, I had a bad one. I'm going to share one of mine just because you're reminding me that there was once where we had the camera and we snuck into the gym and we went into like the equipment room, and they have like to pump up the balls and shit. They didn't have like a hand pump. They had an air compressor hooked up to the wall, and there's a hose coming out of the wall with the needle on it. You just pushed a button. So we hooked a fucking dodgeball up to this bitch and just fucking pushed go. And just like hid behind the rest of the shit and watched that thing just expand and filmed this all, right? And this thing, like a dodgeball like this big, got like fucking massive, and then boom, this big blast, and we're all fucking run out of the room. And we kind of got caught, but we didn't get caught. I remember we got away with it, and I actually somehow had the camera on, and I like filmed the teacher scolding us, like just giving us shit, and I had that, so we had that in our like B-roll version of our video and shit. But
jeez,
awesome. I'm saying, man, teenagers and fucking camera. I mean, I feel like not much has changed. Now I'm an adult. I got a camera. I still do dumb shit. We'll film dumb shit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's just in our blood.
And especially like with that time where cameras like they were expensive and not everyone had them, and
it's just
like new. I was shooting on film
pre
YouTube
it was before its before how big it was and stuff, where it was only like reverting back to, as you're saying, Jackass.
I had a fucking
CKY.
Discman in my backpack. It was a 3-second anti-skip Discman in my fucking backpack. That's where we
needed those, and
a fucking Walkman because the Discman sucked. Just
fucking 6 bats. What the hell,
dude? And it was just 3-second anti-skip, dude. You could not move it.
No,
like if you looked at it wrong, and gave it a weird look, it would skip.
So
it fucking sucked.
So coming from a background that I see a lot of other, OGs coming from as well. You know, we got Ballard, we have Sander. You know, there was a lot of people who came through this kind of, film cinematography style.
Rollerblading as well.
Yeah.
All that tying in together.
And all that.
Everyone you're talking about too also is with rollerblading and shit too. It's kind of crazy. It cycles
through. So I understand how you're saying you've been in this video production, you've been working on that, and at the same time, you still never let go of Kendama. So you still had it on you.
People always knew me as like, he always, because I would always carry it with me. Like, before, we figured out, like, we were doing the weird wrap-ups onto our backpacks, and, like, before, like, the neck, or, like, the Kensuna idea where they came out, or, like, the sidekicks, or the tomahawks, or the lanyards.
Any kind of, way to hold it, holster.
Yeah, so, like, people knew me, like, oh, yeah, he's got that with him and everything. Because, like, when I played it a lot.
I was Around the neck? Who invented around the neck? This is something deep.
We always had it around our neck. If you didn't want to have it on your neck, like knocking over and everything, you would just wrap it up and put it in different ways. But I 100% can say always had it around our neck. It was and like teachers would come up and like fucking snip them. They're like, you guys need to quit that fucking clack, and they would just like try to snip shit. Swear to God, I saw a teacher do it.
What? They're just at you with the scissors, just
assault. Yeah, right.
You're gonna chop your fucking fingers.
No, there was. I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's a lot of bad teachers. I went to my
man.
Dude, I saw a disabled vet throw his fake leg at a student. Yeah, I'm not gonna like.
Okay,
I don't need to get into the deepness of the school I went to, but yeah, like teachers did not like. Some of them were chill for sure, but some of them they did not give a fuck. Like
that's wild,
dude. And especially if they like knew what type of kid you were and like what kind of group you were with. Oh, they did not like some of us. Like 1,000%. They're like, you fucking difference.
Damn.
So for these premieres, you're doing lots of different stuff.
Yeah, I also worked at a movie theater.
Worked at a movie theater.
I was a projectionist. To really show my age, I was a projectionist for 5 years. So if anybody know what the fuck that means, if you ever see me post anything about film, it's because I'm getting like
that's your roots.
Like, that's my root. That's what I love the most. Like if you know me, I love fucking cinema so much.
Yep. You're there ready with like the second reel if the first one like cut or something snaps.
Oh yeah, dude. Like before Kendama, like working with film and working on films, that's all I did.
Got the cellophane tape like ready.
Oh yeah, dude. Bring me up. I almost took like a job. My buddy was talking about like buying this old theater that was a two auditorium theater, and I was just like, bro, I'll fucking work there for free for a bit. Like let's do this. Like let's get this thing going.
That's so cool.
Dude, I sometimes I wish I'm like, damn, I really wish that would have happened. But also at the same time, I'm like, I make Kendamas for a living.
Man,
like,
you're spinning different magic now, buddy.
Yeah, it's true.
All sorts of other shit going on.
But so the reason I'm bringing up the movie theater though is because I had a lot of time upstairs and I had to wait. Like people would read or like they would like obviously we have our job duties that we had to do, but like some people would like read or like play Game Boy and like do that shit. I would play Kendama.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would just play Kendama all the fucking time and, like, different parts. Like, we would go on the roof sometimes after, like, closing and just, like, some people would, like, smoke up there. I would just, like, sesh Dama because I wasn't doing any of that stuff because I was just, like, not straight edge, but, like, just wasn't really my interest.
Yeah.
So, so that's how I got to it. And then, like, I would just keep on playing.
Man, that was, like, pre-spacewalk trick era, right? So like,
I remember when Lunar Lander was invented.
Yeah, like, I was going to say, because that's a good thing, because if you're in that booth with the movie playing and you lost the Dama and just took the whole film out, it wouldn't matter how much cellophane and scissors and extra tape you got, but you'd still be cut.
When you see film burning, I remember this one time we were having it on a dual projector, so it was a release night. So you had to stretch it, and like it's very dangerous, especially the way we had it rigged up. Because like there should have been one extra slack with like an extra blue leader, but that's just my personal opinion on it. And so like you to do it, you had to like go around. And one time it got caught and it started burning, and I just snipped it right at the tension point, and shot. We almost lost the print, but like it was chilling because luckily we had suction cups set up. Because like whenever you have a piece spinning like that and you notice it's getting off coaster, you have to like make sure it doesn't move or anything. And so. Yeah, tend to that story there. But yes, don't spacewalk in the projection booth.
That's some nerdy ass shit. Holy fuck. Man.
I got some gnarly story. Like me and Jake, because he was a projectionist too, we have some gnarly stories about like crazy shit like that. So a different time if you guys ever want to talk.
Damn, that's sick. Man, so that kind of makes sense. You're spinning shit, making magic with the film, bringing it to life on the projector, on the big screen, and now you're bringing wood to life into these little nerd fingers so that they can do all sorts of magic with them.
Yeah, but first, dude, let's go back. You said you started to work for Kendama USA during a Black Friday.
Yes.
10 years ago. So
you walked in to buy some Damas.
How did that happen? Offer, you wanted it? Free Damas?
Well, okay, so So in 2014, so Dama Fest first one started in 2011, and as soon as that happened, I was just like, okay, I am like, this is my skate community kind of thing. Like, I get this. Like, this makes a lot of sense. Like, Instagram just started like the year prior, so like we were weirdly finding the hashtag of Kendama at that point, because I got it because of skating, and then weirdly it started like algorithm shit started happening. So like I saw like inline, and then like some of the inline guys would play like Kendama, so I'm just like, oh shit. And then hashtags became like way more popular, so I legitimately like found Kendama through that, and like ever since then I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna fucking keep on playing. So I kept on playing, went to 2013 Dama Fest, fucking loved it, met a lot of new people, and like pretty much like my friend, like Rod, I believe that was the first time we met, because
it would have been, yeah,
because I bought I wish I had the fucking bill here. My girlfriend at the time bought me a birthday present, and it was a hand-turned walnut maple quarter on one side, and the other one was quarter also. And it was the skinny version of the hand-turned pillows, not like the fatter ones. It was a bit skinnier.
Dude, I think I remember that one.
I'll have to send you a photo when I unpack everything, because like I always try to make sure that's one of my display Kendamas, because I fucking love that piece.
Yeah, 2013 Dama Fest. What a time.
Right?
That was crazy. So like, tell me your version of Space Lab.
I actually was not invited to any of I did not go to any of that.
Oh, you were because of Space Lab.
Because I also had to go. I had to go do some like night shoot work, and like I had to help out at this other spot. So
duty called.
Yeah, so like it was just like like the first one I was able to like just spend the whole day like hanging in the 2011 one. But yeah, the 2013 one, I just had to dip at a certain point. So like, but I made it all the way to the end. Like I stayed for the whole day, but like I was able to like get away and like go hang out with my girlfriend for a little bit, and then I had to go to like work stuff. So,
hell yeah! But so you had already bought Kendamas from Jero previously.
Yeah,
so
I've only bought.
Did you only know his mom, or did you know him as well?
I didn't. So when I bought him, like it was just like a passing, like, "Hey, how's it going?" kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But like, no, I didn't really know Jeremy. So after the 2013 Dama Fest, I got to really know, because Matt Dakota hit me up, and then he was just like, "Hey, you want to come hang out with us and like the Kendama like USA people?" I was just like, "Sure." Like the local, like the squad, like it was Alyssa, it was Trevor, Charles, Fraser would show up, Willie P would show up, this guy named John Mark. And so like we were all just like kind of hanging out, and like we all lived super close to each other, so it was like perfect. Trev was really the only one who lived further, because he was living in Smyrna at that time. So like, and Charles lived in Kennesaw, and then like me, Matt, and Alyssa lived in Woodstock. So it's like for like geographical, like for people who don't know Georgia, like a lot of like, so Atlanta is not like the center of Georgia, it's like a little bit north, and we lived a little bit north before it became like the mountains and shit.
Okay.
So like, and like we pretty much like lived in like an S kind of like that's how you got to each other.
For people who aren't listening, like I don't know if everyone realizes, that's just like a list of ex-employees from Kendama USA. Straight up.
Legends in their own right too, of playing Kendama. Like every person on there has given something to Kendama that I don't think a lot of people will recognize too, or it will come out. Like the amount of shit like Jeremy's done for Kendama.
Oh my god, yeah,
is astronomical. Like same with like Tomatsu and like all the other guys who really have started. But like people who don't know Kendama USA, like if you know who Jeremy is and like who that guy has done for Kendama, like probably will blow your mind what else he's done. Like dude is just. I
can't wait to talk to him about it more. I got his phone number to this trip, so that's
I was about to say, you got his phone number
partly
now.
why. This is why.
This is yeah. So what we call foreshadowing.
Yes,
a little.
Yes. This is like like we went back, we had the flashback sound that we have this little.
Now we're going forward in time.
Yes,
exactly. Okay. But you still have not.
You gotta go back, Marty.
Okay, I'm not to the point. Okay, so we were hanging out. So I'm about to go on these like 2 trips, because like 2013 for me was kind of a good and bad, or like a good and bad year, and like just a lot of like life changing things. So by the end of the year, I'm just like about to go on this trip, and then I stop in because I see that, and I'm a huge Colin Sander fan. I have all of Colin's mods that he's ever like designed and created and everything. So like he dropped this is when the Kaizen ones just dropped. So this is 2014, and they were releasing the V4 mods. So that weekend they came out with the Cherry, aka like Babinga.
With Cherry.
The Cherry, yeah.
Yeah.
Those
That's
were
a story.
quotation
I mean,
marks
you guys
for
have
you guys listening.
Everyone, yeah.
On
the site they were listed as Cherry, but they were not real Cherry.
Yeah, because there was
but
like
nobody knew.
Yeah, somebody misunderstood somebody.
Yeah.
From there's like a crazy
factory
story
shit.
about it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, I need to grab that Colin one, but I was like, hey, I need to go on this trip. I want to pick up because the two Damas I brought.
Was that the spirit animals? The V4?
No, the V4 was like the Canadian maize, the army green.
Oh,
Turner,
I'm way off. Oh, yeah.
Colin
Okay.
stacking.
Yes.
The spirit animals was the one right before it.
Before.
That's where they did the full cherry ones.
Yes. Oh, gotcha.
I got like Kendama USA lore too. I got like, I remember like specific, because like, shout out Kendama USA. Like, yeah, I love them, bro.
Yeah.
My work hoodie. So shout out to the wonderful people that I brought up earlier, like Alyssa, Trevor, Charles, Matt. I love you guys. You guys are legends. Some of my best friends.
Right. Best friends, live locally, and all had a hand working at Kendama USA.
Exactly. So I went in, and it was my day off because I didn't just start. I was like kind of like a month into it. I started this job at this payroll company. Fucking like, thank you to the friends who got me out into that job, because like my life would have been different. But I was just working at this payroll company, and I was like about to take this trip. So I had the day off because like they took off like the federal holiday, Black Friday, or like the shopping day or whatever.
Okay.
So I had the day off. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go pick up like some of this stuff before I leave and that. And so I went to Kendama USA, and I picked up all that, all what I wanted for the trip. And I wanted to get one of those new Collins in the spirit animal Colin. That was all Kaizen.
Yep.
And so
I remember that.
Yeah, they came out the same day.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like in there, and like some local kids were in there kind of like sessioning, and then Trevor was like kind of session with them. And I was just like, oh, like I'll jam and hang out for a little bit. And then I was just like kind of jamming, and then like the kids left. And I was just like, hey man, how's the day going? Like, I haven't gotten to really talk to you because you were teaching those kids. And then we were showing them like a game of Ken or something, because they're probably like 10, I think. At that point. Okay. So we were just like showing them Kendama and like all that, fun shit they were just learning.
Yep.
And so I was just like, hey man, how's it going? Like, and he's like, dude, we're fucking busy. Like, it's going insane. I was like, oh, really? And like Charles and some of the other guys that were working at the warehouse at that time, they were just in and out. Like at this time we had a van. So like we would load up packages and like drive them to the post office.
Yep.
And do all that. So, at that point, I was just like, oh damn, that sucks. I like feel bad. Like it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, damn. And they're like, yeah, we got like at least 600 more orders for the day or some shit like that. And I was like, damn, that fucking blows. Wish I could help out. Like that sucks. Just saying that. And then Jeremy overheard that in his office, because this is when it's the 2013 warehouse, if you remember, Rod, the one with the 2 alleyways.
I do remember that. So
Jero's office was right in the front there, and he heard me, and he's like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, you busy? And I was just like, I mean, not really, man. Bye, what's up? Because I thought he was going to ask, like, something else or something.
Yeah.
He was like, well, would you want to, like, I'll pay you this, and you can take whatever you want. And that's when the first Purple Heart, and if you remember the Veras, and they just all came in, and the red wines with the sassafras birch combo.
Okay.
Yeah. They just came out, because that was all that same weekend and everything. And he's like, you could take like whatever you want, like from this little batch here, and then like he was like 2 Damas, and I'll pay you whatever, and like we'll figure something else out. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, so it's just for the weekend.
It was just for the weekend. It was literally like Friday, Saturday, and I would work the rest of Friday, because it was like until like I think like 5 or 6 we stopped. And then it was like early morning Saturday to like late afternoon because like mail stops picking up at like 1.
Yeah, just fulfilling shipments.
Just fulfilling orders. And like Sunday came around, it was a little bit shorter. And he's like, tomorrow we'll probably know if we need more because it'll be Cyber Monday and we'll be pumping out deals. And I was just like, okay, man, just let me know because like I got that day off too, but I can't help out on like Tuesday or anything. He's like, that's fine. And because he was like, I'll pay you everything and you get to take whatever you want and like we'll clean up and everything. So like Jeremy's always like about like making sure like he's good with you and like, you know, he's just a good dude. He's like
considerate.
Very considerate of like your time and he tries to like use it the best he can. You know what I mean? Like he'll do his best. So I was like, yeah, sure. Funny your part, never left. Legitimately, like somebody said it to me. They're like, because I was one of the few people Jeremy just hired. Because a couple months went by, I would work weekends. They were like, hey, can you work like this weekend? I was like, yeah, I don't have much. Because at this point, I'm working at this payroll company. I'm just leaving this pizza place, so I'm only working part-time. And then like I was helping my brother's old roommate is a chef, so I would help him with his work. But I was also working sets at the same time. So like I'm bouncing around.
5 jobs.
Yeah,
dude.
so I'm like really like bouncing around, just making money and not making a lot of money, but like, you know, I'm trying to go to school kind of. And like, like, you know, it's just
as we all do.
Film school, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I got my stance on college, but nobody wants to hear that. Fucking waste. So, you know, I'm just like doing a bunch of shit and like, so I was periodically helping and I was like, you know what, I'm done working it. I don't want to work in kitchens anymore. I'm really trying to finish up, like, I'm trying to get this job at like the local TV stations or like one of the sporting events and everything. So like, just so I have a steady career, because when I was graduating high school, I was supposed to go to Vancouver and I was going to go to school there. And like, I was just going to move to Vancouver and just become a citizen or try to become a citizen. Because like at that time, the film industry was in Vancouver. It wasn't in LA. It was in Vancouver and like a little bit in Georgia.
Yep.
So that's why Georgia, because we have Turner and like CNN and all that shit here. Like Adult Swim is main office is here, and like Cartoon Network and TBS and Turner Classic Movies and all that. So like there's a lot here, and Tyler Perry's here, and so I was doing all that, and then after a certain point, I asked Jeremy. I was like, "Hey man, I kind of want to just like, I'm going to the city a lot, and like this is a good job point for me. Like so in case like you only need me part-time kind of thing." And like we were just like talking, I was like, I kind of want to switch jobs. Like, could I work full-time ish here? Like I'm okay with taking, like, I just wanted to be like, if we could hit this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you sure you want to drive that far? Because at that point it was like over an hour drive in Georgia, and Rod has learned recently,
oh my God,
you got to fucking drive everywhere.
Yeah.
So everything is like a 20-minute drive around here. Yeah,
really?
aggressively. Yeah. Yeah. You can be swerving. Like I feel bad because like
through 8 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
It's intense, man.
8 lanes.
Dude, they have 8-lane highways that we were chilling on for like 40 minutes.
No shit. I thought that was like LA.
No, dude.
Atlanta is like, or Metro, like Atlanta outside, like OTP kind of thing. You have to get on the highway. It's very much like, I feel bad when people come here because like it doesn't bother me because I grew up in it.
Right.
But like
it's
I didn't
intense.
think it was that bad.
Okay.
Honestly, but it is.
But
like
we went during
a
decent
thing.
times.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Like on the way back after dropping off Lisa, there's 4 accidents. I was stuck in traffic for an hour and a half going north when people aren't going north.
Damn.
So
okay, so Joe's like, you want to make that commitment? Hour, it's pretty far.
Yeah, so he was just like,
cool?
Okay. So I'm one of like very few people who has had like, apparently everybody has like job interviews with Jeremy.
Yes.
I did not have a job interview because I just like kept on working side, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a permanent thing. And he's just like, well, I mean, you show up, and I guess he thought I was a good worker. So like he was just like, I'll take a shot on this fat boy. Like, why not? And he's doing pretty good. And he knows about Kendama. That was the other thing. He's like, you know Kendama, you've been around for a very long time. He's like, you know that kind of stuff. So I was just like, fuck yeah. And the thing that the guy always says, he's like, Ryan, you're like a stray cat that showed up and you never left.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, that's a good way
we
to
just took
describe
you in. Yeah. Oh, we learned.
Yeah.
Oh, he's nice.
Yeah,
We'll leave a saucer of milk for this one.
Yeah, he'll strumble in.
So at that time, who else was working at Kendama USA?
So Trevor Starnes was working there. This guy named James Rhodes, he was doing customer service with Trevor. Sharif Baru, if anybody knows him, shout out Sharif.
Hell yeah.
And shout out James. Second James, not first James, because there was two James that worked for Kendama USA.
James the
James
second.
Peck and James Rhodes. So they were there. Alyssa Dakota was there. Matt just left when I was kind of just showing up. I worked like a couple of shifts with him,
All right.
but like me fully being there, he left. So
For people who don't know, or listen back to the Alyssa episode, Matt is her brother.
First ever GT Pro.
First ever GT Pro. Ridiculous Kendama player, especially for the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Juggles.
Oh man.
Dude, Ken flips.
God.
Insane. He's at
The weird
everything.
little penguiny thingies.
Bro.
Oh yeah. He would do it. Yeah. Underbird, bat.
For me, I'm just like, with the whole time I'm watching the clips, and I'm like,
The hair.
and with the hair in his face, like,
Such
You
a
know?
G move. And especially in that Georgia heat humidity, he is a fucking saint. I couldn't do like some like oof. So yeah, so I work there. So Alyssa's there.
Yeah.
This woman named Joanna.
And you were friends with them, right?
Yes,
Already.
I was friends
So you were
with
friends, you were close. So I'm just looking at, from possibly Jero's standpoint of like, he trusts people and those people trust you. So it's like, all right, it kind of works well.
I think Jero really likes the idea of like Kendama players working for his company because it's like,
makes sense.
Like people
So niche,
who get it. Yeah. And we're all into different things for sure. Like I really love film and beer and like Kendama and like now woodworking to, to a very bigger extent. But like we're all into like different things, like Alyssa with hooping at that time and like flow art. And then Trevor, he was like into a decent amount of photography too. And like that was one thing, like him and Jero, because like if you know Jero, fucking world famous, out of this world photographer. He's like, I was talking to Brett at the Burl event, and he was just like, "Oh, I know Jero," and because he also knew Chris Smith, and I was just like, "You know who fucking Chris Smith is?" And and so he was just like telling me, I was just like, "Dude, Jero's photos," because he used to have some in the office, and like ones that he went to like Alaska or like insane like burls he found. Dude, Jero's photos, if you can find some, look some up.
Oh yeah,
they're so good.
Yeah, I mean that was his like position in the inline skating world mostly, wasn't it? Was as a
photographer, filmer. Yeah. So
wild.
Yeah, the stories that guy can tell, and like such an interesting dude. Like Jero's the fucking man. Like so interesting.
I got his number. I'm gonna call him.
We're buttering up all the listeners right now. Yeah, so hard.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I started working there, and then there's a guy, Holland, him and his brother, if anybody remembers the cook for the Cook's paint.
Cook's paint.
Cook Custom.
Cook Custom.
So Holland worked in the warehouse with us, with Charles and me, and then these two other guys, but they were morons. But
okay. And for everyone,
excuse me, I'm burping. I'm sorry.
At that time, there was not like there was sticky paint, yes, but it was like
Mash
on the
was
cusp
out.
of Mash being like the shit. And so other brands were finding painters, or painters were finding brands. I'm not sure exactly how that panned out, but everyone
was local too.
Yeah. Okay. There's people creating sticky tacky. I feel like that word has kind of lost in the current Dama, the tackiness.
Tacky.
Yeah, but we wanted shit that was tacky.
And
Cook's, Cook was one. That I remember. He had that like chameleon type style, like metallic
funky colors.
Yeah,
I'm so bummed. I have two unreleased ones because he would give us some. He's like, "Hey, can you guys like play this and like sesh it like, and let me know how it breaks in and everything." So we have like a lot of like at least I do. I don't know if Charles has a lot more.
Yeah,
but like he would like give us a bunch of stuff. I have 2 unreleased colorways that never came out because he kind of stopped painting, and I'm so bummed because they were just so fucking gorgeous.
Shit.
Ugh. It was like the sparkle one and like one of the chameleon ones that never came out.
Yeah,
Damn.
dude. I never really experienced them until I think first World Cup after Rod, Rick, and Keith come to Sioux Lab.
I was waiting for this.
And Keith, he was playing the
green copper.
The green copper one.
Yeah,
and
dude, that's the best one.
He traded that shit with Sue for, I think, a white Mugen.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trade.
Was it a white one? Because I got the white Mugen from Sue that trip.
Maybe the pink. I don't know. It was one.
It wasn't his emerald one.
I think it was a pink. I think it was
pink. Might have been pink. Mm-hmm. You know, to hail back to he was always the pink OG.
Yeah, I think it was a pink because I wanted the pink. I was pissed about it, and I was like, "Fuck."
It's still awesome because Sue Sue has that in this collection.
Dude.
Like that's a part of his collection.
Keith Matsumura's Lunar Dama. If he gives that up, you don't give that up. What do you mean?
Dude, I mean
that emerald though. Oh,
and when
so
you
good.
go back and you look at like the past videos, like with WKT, like I see that Dama so often. I'm like, dude, that's just so it's immaculate. This fucking piece. Any case,
if I was Sue, I would sit and watch those edits and just hold that Dama in Lunar, and just with the biggest smile on my face,
try to channel the energy.
Oh, not even just to feel the Lunar while you're watching him do it on the same Dama.
My god!
Yeah,
I never thought about that. That's intense.
I need to go hang out at Sue's house for a couple hours.
That's some 4D viewing.
That is 4D viewing right there.
It is.
That's insane.
Shit,
God, I love that. That feel. Oh
man.
Yeah. Dude, anyways, enough about Sue and Keith's Dama. So you're.
I mean, we could talk about it for like another hour. I feel like not?
We could. Honestly.
Just nerd it up and be like,
so hard.
This fucking trick.
Yes.
So okay. So those are the different people that were working at the shop. And what were you doing? Were you still just fulfilling orders?
Yeah, I was just fulfilling orders. Like, I would literally just help out with, like, we were doing big worldwide orders at that time, and we were doing just local and, like, you know, across the states and everything. So we were just doing a bunch of that.
Toy expos and stuff.
I didn't get to go to any of the expos. I didn't get invited, but it just didn't turn out because, like, I couldn't get up there. Because, like, Jared's like, I'll get you a ticket if you can, like, get yourself up there. And, like, I was saving up for it, but I had to do some stuff with my car. So I was just like, oh, we'll go to the next one. And then I kind of pushed it off. But we do a lot of local events. Like, we're very much, like, community for sure. Like, we go to a lot of schools and teach kids, and so we do that on the side. Like, that was technically my first ever Kendama USA job. Like, Matt asked me, like, hey, would you mind coming to the school? We're going to teach some kids some Kendamas, and, like, we'll play for a little bit, and, like, you could get a free Kendama, free t-shirt, and, like, I think Jero gave us like $20
bottle opener maybe.
I already bought one. I have the original steel one,
dude. I'm so
with the bite.
I'm so pissed. I got
one.
Those
ones are so much better.
Lost it somewhere. I'm so sad.
Oh, really?
I still have one in my drawer.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I might have one if I can.
But you're saying like the original ones. So like the original ones were nice. They like actually opened the bottle. But, like the part
they had the teeth
went under the bottle had a little like
the little divot.
Yeah.
But then the newer ones didn't have that. They were the same thickness
I got
as the rest of it, and you had to fucking fight that bottle. You might as well bite that thing open.
Yeah, dude, it was like you had to do it all the way around. I know I have one around here somewhere, but on my original one is on my keychain. It's never left my keychain.
Nice.
So what was that?
Oh my gosh,
2013 where we are.
You know with Sweets bringing ATAC back, I think Kusa can bring back a bottle opener.
Dude,
you got to make it proper though, like with the fucking teeth on it,
and make it nice. Yeah, not like those remake fucking things.
Still,
there is a guy near the wood shop right now that does like cutting. So I wonder if I bring him in the stencil. I bet you he could.
Do it
easy. Yeah, but you have to update that stencil. Put some fatty cups on there. You know,
because. Dude,
maybe a stripe on the Tama.
Well, I mean, it was just it was pretty simple. I think it worked. The silhouette was cool.
No, I love the silhouette. I wouldn't want to change that.
But yeah, you know, with the 10 years or more that have passed since a lot of these big companies have been around, a lot of the stuff that was in the beginning that us old heads know about can be so fresh and something so new and really great to bring back. So, and in a new like version of it, like Sweet Tooth again doing with the ATAC Kens.
Dude,
so,
like GT dropped the Tio mod, what do they call it, Shido?
Oh, the Shido, yeah.
That one was fucking so sick. Just
wait,
go back to the white
the one
move.
with the dots?
No, that
all
was
white,
just white, all white Tama.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, those are dope. And it's funny.
Walnut core.
Yeah. So
for the
but
better
before
tracking,
that, they had the red one too.
So fucking gangster.
Jake's,
oh my god.
Yeah. So such a great throwback, and something that only an OG can remember the passion for, and not only, but a lot of the old heads. I know I was like, oh damn, like when that shit dropped, like ooh.
Legitimately, so we were prototyping, and Jero asked like, "Hey, do you want do we need to do because we needed to test the Tama size about something?" And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do this. Like, would it matter if it was just this?" And it was just a pure white Tama, right before Jake put out any of that. I was just like, we were just talking. We were like, let's just fucking bring that back. Like, why not? And I was just like, it'd be the most gangster thing ever. And then Jake Weens does it. And I'm just like,
Jake Weens comes in with that Thug Life meme shit.
Just it looks so good. It's a terrible for modern day Kendama. Just the fucking worst. But it's such a gangster move.
I honestly don't think it's that bad. It's
you don't think the tracking wise?
I mean, I've just maybe I'm just used to it because I learned on it. But I've always been able obviously it makes it easier when there's an actual target for sure. But I don't think it's crazy. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know.
The one thing I want to bring up that I think is really great about those, I was just setching an OG Enju earlier today. And just throwing earth turns, I feel like we've gotten through all of the reps. We understand the muscle memory so much more than someone who needs the aid of the visual aid.
Yeah,
compared to
maybe after
us,
so many years,
the old, who got used to. Of course, it's not impossible for someone new to pick it up and get used to it too. But there's a little extra muscle memory, that is there.
That's subconscious.
At the shop, the shop when we proto, I still use natty balls just to test out the Kens.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Exactly,
it is kind of just built into us.
Yes. So that's something really cool. But yeah, bringing old stuff back. So, oh man, dude. This episode has just branched out in every fucking which way.
I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to put in a narrative here.
It's because we're bringing the old stuff back.
Yes.
Ryan Plourd is part of the old stuff. We're bringing it back.
Oh, man.
I'm going to take off my hoodie real quick. Hold on a second.
Sorry. Do it. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously, though. And like he was saying, making protos. And I remember when Sue had the first friction clear light, he had a white version. And he's just oh, here, MJ. He's like, I know you just plain old school Damas. And I'm like, hell yeah. I was so stoked. I got a pure white friction clear light. Because it was a prototype that they were doing. And the factory sent it to him. And he's like, okay, here, MJ, take it. I'm like, yes.
That's so fucking metal.
And then you proceeded to put a 2-finger premium string on it on an Ozora.
Did you really?
Can. Dude, this dude plays that shit.
Of course.
Dude, I want to play that so bad. That looks so good.
Dude, you don't even need to back up to show your full string length. You can hold it like this. It's
this is the shot.
Bro, I got Dama on my neck. What do I got? What am I rocking here? Let's see.
Good.
I got one. Ooh, actually, Ryan made this one. This is a little crafty.
Oh, did I? Oh, hey.
Look at that, buddy. How many fingers is that? Count.
That's about a 7, 8.
Yeah.
That's at least 8. That's probably 9 or 10. Oof. But hey.
Shit. Okay, so we're still in the past. We're still learning that you're been inaugurated into
you're a full-fledged
warehouse.
So, yeah, I'm going full Kusa pretty much. I because of it's kind of working there because I was really getting into it, so they let me go into we teach a lot of kids. There was a lot of days we would just go to different schools, and it was so sick just going around doing that. I love because Kusa had a school program too, right when the Sweets one started. So like, it's kind of interesting. We were both working on it at the same time, but didn't even like fucking realize it.
And
same
thing with that white Tama thing you're just saying.
Exactly, like coincidences. So so we're doing that, and like at a certain point, like Jero kind of was like, "Hey man, like here," like he gave me like a raise, and he was just like, "Hey, keep up like good work and all that kind of stuff." So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go to KWC because like at that point, because I remember when I think it was from Kazuma, he sent me like a request because at that time we were all doing like Facebook like hardcore, and so Kazuma hit me with the like, "Hey, you're invited to KWC," like the first one, like the 2014.
2014,
yeah. Was it the 13? What it was like? It was like the first Cup. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, then it was the 14.
The first, official KWC.
So, because I remember seeing the Glow King Cup one happen, and I was just like, "Damn, that's so fucking cool." And so so I got like the invite. I was like, "Damn, I really want to go," but like I couldn't at the time. So I was like, you know what? Jero gave me this like little bump. I started saving for like Japan.
Yeah.
And that's how we got to 2019 Japan.
Yeah.
Like when me and Jake went. And so like I just kept on progressing. And then it was 2017. So like at this point Craft already started. Like it was RWB. So
yep.
RWB was there. And it was like,
for those who don't know, RWB was birthed out of GT, pretty much the creation of GT.
Like Jake's brother Eric.
Jake's brother Eric,
and his partners.
That's the
Richard
W in RWB. And they
I
just
don't remember
crafted.
The other two.
Yeah.
The other guys were Richard Russell and Matt Picardo.
There you go.
Two really good dudes. They're all. I think they all moved back to Chattanooga, but like a couple of them like moved out of the state to go do jobs.
So they worked hard. They created a factory to make kendamas, pretty much just for GT, because that's all GT was at that time: small batches, high quality. And
then what, right?
And then Craft, and
then Craft came out in, was
much,
it 2016?
They stopped. So, dude. Well, I mean. So you were working with them side by side when it was RWB?
Okay, so RWB was around. So like since I lived close to RWB, so RWB used to throw like little, like when Stod came in to create a shape, there was a jam. Like they all came into Coosa. We were hanging out. They're like, "What are y'all doing this weekend?" We were like, just chilling." We're like, "Hey, you want to come to Chattanooga and like hang out and like play some Dama? We'll do some games and everything." And like going up to Chattanooga. Chattanooga is like a very close city. It's only an hour and a half away. So it's a great weekend trip if you don't want to be like, "Oh, I'll go down to Atlanta and like hang out there." You can go to Chattanooga if you want to do like or mountainy country stuff than like Atlanta city stuff. So like it was like nice getaway, and it's only an hour and a half away. So we'll drive an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back because you can like get food and like hang out for the day and all that shit. So we went up, hung out, got to hang out with Chad because he lived in Lexington at that time, so like sometimes he would come down. And
Soul Chado,
Chado, and this is
now
like
he
the
lives
beginning
in Chattanooga,
of
right?
Yeah, now he lives in Chattanooga, which is funny because he moved. If I knew 6 months before moving back to Atlanta, like I would have been like, Chad's moving here, because I was up there by myself. But we'll get to that point later at some point.
The next 5 hours.
Whenever you need me to tell me to shut up, please let me know.
No. Continue. Never shut up.
So we went up to like a couple jams, and then got like, so Lyndon, I guess really it has to do with Lyndon, I guess, who got me like starting the conversation, because like I've known Lyndon since he was, I think like 15, maybe 16. Like he didn't have a car yet, so yeah, he was like 15. So I knew him when he was like 15, and I remember when he entered like the Soul competition, and like we were like talking because he's like, "Hey, you do video stuff. I want your opinion on this." So I was like, "Yeah, sure." And like I would help him, like I would do this differently or like critique it or something. And then he was just like, "Oh," and then we would like film stuff. Like I would help like Matt and some of the other guys in the area. Like I have a camera, so like why not just film? Because I love filming, so like I'll just do it. And so after a couple years of like going up to Chattanooga for like the jams or whatever, Lyndon asked me, he was like, hey, you're going to Nashville, because like I did like almost every Soul Stop that summer series in 2016, I think it was, maybe early 2017. I did like the entire like Southeast. Like I went to everyone. So so on the way back, Linda was like, hey man, Chad's been driving me. Would you mind driving me back? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I stayed at the Cook's cabin in Alabama, because it was only like 30 minutes from the Chattanooga. So Tennessee and Chattanooga and Georgia weirdly hit in this like triangle point. So like that's where also Alex Mitchell's from, Tryon, Georgia. So it's like that area. So I just stayed there, and then the next morning I went to go pick up Lyndon, and then Eric was like, hey man, like he was just like kind of talking to me, and he was just like, hey, would you ever want to like maybe come up here and like learn how to do this? Like, because he made me a special walnut kendama. I brought him a piece of wood it's a Turkish walnut, and he made me a 1-in-1 slim craft. So it was just like, and we were just like talking, and he was like, hey, would you ever want to like come work weekends or something? Like, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. Like, that'd be so sick to learn how to do this. I just got to talk to Jero, because like he's my boss right now, and like, you know, the idea of like conflicting business kind of thing. I was just like, I got to talk to Jero, see if he's chill with it, because like because like Eric was talking about like come up like late Friday, spend the night at my house. We'll go work all day Saturday, learn, do a little bit of Sunday morning, and then you can just dip back to Atlanta, because it's only an hour and a half drive. So like I was like, okay, yeah, dude, let's do it. And so never really heard anything for like almost like 8 months to a year or something like that. I like would say what's up, and he's like, yeah, we're just trying to figure stuff out. But it turned out, so Jero asked me one morning or one afternoon, he's like, hey man, you want to go do some photography for some like new crafts that are coming out, and like just hang out? And I was just like, hang out with Jeremy and go take photos? Fuck yeah. Like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Like, that sounds awesome. Because he enjoyed like going out and taking product photos and like bringing us and like doing different things. You know what I mean? Like, just like, let's go out and just shoot photography for the day. Like, fuck yeah. And it's Kendama, so like we can get some like seshing in too. And like that time, there was like a couple times like Trevor would show up or like Charles would show up, and we would just shoot product ads, but like we were just like filming shit too, and like all that stuff. So
hell yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I'd love to come up for like a Saturday. And he's like, yeah, man, we'll like wake up early, drive up, you know, fill up, you know, get a meal, take some photos, and like just head back and be back at like, I think we left at like by like 9 a.m. and then we got back at like 11 to 12 p.m. or a.m. the next day. You know what I mean? So like, it was just like a fun. But on that trip, he like brought up, he was like, how fucking cool would it be if we could like come up here and like make our own stuff and like switch it on a dime, and like, oh, let's make a change here. We don't, you know, I was just like, that'd be pretty dope, honestly. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to learn that. Like, I was like telling him, I was like, did anything happen with that? And he's like, I mean, like, what if like we kind of own it and like you come up here and like learn it and all that stuff? And I was like, because at that time I had nothing tying me down to Georgia, so I was like, I'll fucking move. I don't care. Like, why not? Like, I got nothing here for me. Like I had my friends, obviously, and like my parents were staying here, but I didn't know how long my parents are going to fucking stay here. So I was just like, sure, why not? Like, I'd give it a shot, man. And then that was near the end of 2017. And then it like, when we went to go make the shift, when Dylan got announced, that like that video of like him getting like a cake in the face and like spraying him, like I was there, I was behind the camera. So like we're like spraying him. That weekend it was very interesting because Skaggs lived here at the time. Dude, we haven't even fucking talked about Skaggs fucking living in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So like we just drove up, but because Jared was like, oh, you know, come up and like film and help us and all that. But I kind of want you to be paying attention to Eric and really talk to Eric, because about like learning how to do this. And like Smith was there, and it was Dylan, Wyatt, Skaggs, me, Jero, and the RWB guys. And that weekend turned out to be Jeremy buying the fucking wood shop. And like, kind of like really realized it was just like, what? Like, it was like a talked about idea, but like, and like, he can obviously, whenever you guys talk to him, go like in deep depths about that. But like, it was just like interesting happening. And like, we're like, holy fuck, we own this wood shop. Let's fucking make a kendama. And then the story with like Smith and the fucking bar and all that. And so, yeah, that was that weekend. And then a couple months later, there was this guy who came in named Tabor Martin. If anybody knows him, he's a kind of a local guy here in like Atlanta. He ran jams because he just really dug on kendama. But he worked at a Mountain High Outfitters, which is like an REI kind of like Dick's Sporting Goods, but just for like outdoors, like hardcore outdoors people. And so like he needed a job for school, and so Jero gave him a job. And he also he was just like, hey, do you know how to like, because he set up stores. That was like his main thing. He would travel all through the Southeast to set up these stores. And so Jared was like, you know how to kind of like set stuff up and like get businesses going kind of thing. Do you think you can help us? Because like Ryan knows a lot about kendama at this point. Like at this, so 2000, it's like 2018. So I was like around 10 years into it. So like I seen kendama grow so far. You know, we had the plan of just like moving up there. Like the idea of staying up there the whole time wasn't like the idea. It was just at least get it started. And I was just like, yeah, I'll sign on for like 2 or 3 years. Like, why not? And then I became like a baby. I was like, I miss my friends, even though it's an hour and a half drive. I drove back every 2 weeks. But like Jeremy's a fucking saying. He's like, you know what? Yeah, if you really want to move back, we'll move back. And like moved back right before COVID. So I stayed in Chattanooga for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Did that.
Yeah.
And
at that time, so that was a transition from RWB to craft shop.
Yeah, the name and everything, because it was like, since it's in a different state, we couldn't be Kendama USA. So we like, Jeremy thought of the name. It was like, because there's a wood store called Woodcraft, and I think we called ourselves Craft Wood. Like that was the name of the company there or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but also at the same time, at that time, we weren't telling people what was happening. Like I didn't, like all of Grande, unless you worked at Kuso, like none of them knew that I was like moving up to Chattanooga. I lied because like at that time, I also had a job working for ESPN / a local school. So like I could just tell people like, oh yeah, I got to go shoot sports in this like stay for the week and like all that kind of stuff. Because like they would send, because like my aunt worked for ESPN at the time. So like I know she traveled a lot. So I know how to like spitball the scenario. But like we didn't really tell any people that like Smith and Kristen are the only ones who knew really what was going on. And so, so like I was like kind of under wraps. Like it wasn't until like Japan 2019 I told Fraser and Lyndon. And there's a really funny photo of Fraser finding out. Like we're in Japan when it was like raining, and like me and Brian are just standing there like, so I've been lying to you guys, like this is what's happening, and here's like the first like true run of like what I made, and like I gifted them all like a piece I've been like saving.
And shit.
So like pretty sure I gave them a piece. Oh shit. I'm like double guessing myself. I'm like, I know I gave them something, but like whatever it was. But yeah, so like that's when I told them, and then like it's slowly been, I guess, kind of coming out since I want to say like 2020 something. You know, like more if you know who I am, like I guess, or if you know like about the wood shop, that's what it is. So like but yeah, and yeah, we just kind of took over from like 2018, and like Smith and Kristen stayed with us for like 2.5 weeks just to like learn the machine and understand like because like my background is legitimately just cameras. Like I know like I'm just a fucking fat kid who knows about movies. Like that's all I really knew at that time. But I knew how to work cameras too, you know. So like I understand how like machines kind of like what's the gear, you know, kind of thing. Just like kind of explain from there, and I'll pick it up and I'll like trait wise, you know what I mean? Like let me do it a couple times, just explain it, and like I can kind of pick up on that. And
at that time, were the RWB 3 guys
Yeah,
out of the picture?
No, so like
still helping out. Yeah,
like there was like a deal in like buying it. Like, hey, could you guys at least like show us like how to do this? And like I sat in sessions with like all 3 of the guys. They taught me different things, and like and then like I got really comfortable talking to the people who make the CNC, and I call them like if there's like a problem and I'm like learning parts. I'm like, listen, I still do it to this day because like once again I'm not like an expert in any way. I'm really still trying to learn, but like I got passion in what I do, so I try to pay attention the best I can, I guess. But I'm like, I don't know what this part is called. I'm like, it's like a plate. They're like, sir, that's a coil or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe in your manual you should explain it fucking better. I don't know. Maybe it should do its fucking job, or like have more like videos out there explaining stuff. Dude, it annoys me. Like woodworking community is so what's the word I'm looking for? Like
kind of like clicky. Like
clicky, and
everything
like
is like
gatekeeping.
Considered like esoteric. It's like
it's so backwards.
It's like, oh, you don't know what a round nose chisel does versus a flat chisel. Oh,
yeah. It's like, look at me. Do I look like I know? That's why I'm coming to you.
It's like I'm trying to ask you. You fuck. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. In my head, I have this montage of you like learning about this, and then just like you learning how to make kendamas, and like wood flying all over the place. You're calling this guy. You're like, it's of this, and then all of a sudden you get this kendama, and you're like.
Good like montage. A Rocky montage kind of thing.
Yeah, you're at the top of the stairs.
Yo, Fraser!
Richard Fraser! So I'm just like learning, and they would teach us stuff, but like I would go out. I met like some very nice people who did woodworking in Chattanooga, and like learned a lot. So like I'm very appreciative of that. And also like I want to give a shout out to the guy who helped us, because there's like certain formulas we have to help calculate like what the weight of the wood is and like what we think kendamas are going to weigh and all that kind of stuff. His name is Braden Lowe. I don't know what he's doing. He was going for like the Navy to work on the nuclear stuff, so I hope that's what he's doing. Because he quit the shop. I was literally in Japan.
Whoa.
Like on vacation, and he gave me his 2 weeks notice while I was in there, and I was just like, well, this kind of fucking blows, but also at the same time, I'm super happy for you because he was working so hard to get that job.
Yeah.
And so like, I was
that's
like,
not wood. That's crazy.
Yeah. But he was like a nerd. Like he understood like juggling. He did like acrobatic, gym yoga with his partner. So like, I was just like,
acro yoga. Yeah.
Acro yoga. Thank you. And so he was doing that, and he was just like, he got kendama, which was really cool. Cause like it is kind of like you want somebody who gets kendama and who isn't going to just like, oh, it's a fucking toy. I'll just like, I know how to work a fucking lathe. Like I can find a good old boy in anywhere in the South that can fucking do that. But like when you find somebody who wants to and cares about it, it's so nice. And like,
well, totally. Because kendama is actually a pretty intricate shape as far as like woodworking goes. Like you can make like legs for a table, banisters, all that stuff. And like, sure, they have, if you make like a row of them, you want them all to be the same, but it doesn't matter how tight that ring is on the bottom versus the shape here, like with a kendama, all those little things make a big difference. Like not only in playability, but for example, like the shape of the sword dictates how the cups are going to fit on it once you drill that hole in the cups, right?
And what's your taper from like there to there?
Yeah, exactly. And then like, where is it going to sit? And yada, yada. There's a lot of little intricacies that even like, a lot of woodworkers I've like talked to over the years, like, showing them my stuff and whatnot, they're just like, whoa, like that's pretty good actually. That's like, it's like precise kind of shit. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm sure they could, but you just have to like get into those little details and nerd out about it a little bit.
1,000%. Because like, honestly, it like, I hope we get to talk at some point, or even if we talk off cam, but just like some like theory shit that like I was kind of getting into today with Corey, and like, where kind of kendama shapes are going, and like how we need to like predict like if we're going to keep on growing and like changing certain things, like we need to take this into consideration. And like I'm noticing on a lot of shapes right now, and I'm not going to call out anybody because it's everybody in a sense, but like just how our like Cerdo middles are. We're at the point where we need to fix that if we're going to be doing Tamas like that, or if we're going to be cup cut-ins like that. Or
totally.
Your purchase
100%.
So like, there's like an interesting road that we can go down. And I'm excited because then that's how we're going to create like a new shape, and like the next evolution of Kendama is going to happen. Because like,
totally,
just without that, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, every like shape is geared towards fixing a problem. It's like what we were talking about with the tribute stuff. So when you're looking at something, it's like, oh, well, I have this trick in mind that I can't quite sling fast enough to get this 37 slingers or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
1,000%.
So now you're going to fix that. You're going to make something that's going to make it, you know, like put some weight somewhere, maybe put something somewhere where you can make it easier to do that.
Are we curving it this way? Is this the right diameter dimension for like the base coat? Because it's like, you know, you could have like, here's the like bevel version, and then you can go with like a weird deeper in cut in kind of thing. It's just like weird shit like that.
Totally. And that's where like the making kendama side comes in, like as a kendama player, because like, I mean, like we were just talking about how long you've been playing. You also won a fairly large comp, if I remember. You were the Battle at the Border. It was the Hamilton champion. 2023 what is it? Advanced one. Because I don't compete. That's the other thing. Like the only ones I really care about.
That was awesome.
I think KWC is like the most important competition. Like all the rest can fall to the side. But yes, I did win. Dude. And it was crazy because I didn't even really look at the tricks. Because like I originally signed up for the AM, and then I looked at the tricks, and I was just like, I can't do like any of these fucking tricks. Like I can do maybe 3 tricks. And then I looked at the inner or the advanced one. I was like, slightly better, but you know what? Like usually, because at comps, I usually just kind of not like sandbag, but like somebody else who I can see has been like really grinding it. I'll like be willing to just be like, I'll put in an effort to compete, but like I'm not going to be like super grinding. If I miss it, I miss it, like whatever kind of thing. Because like I'd rather that person move on and get ready for like the next comp, because they're gonna like do great and like that kind of thing.
Well, if they're really grinding and they deserve it, they'll fucking beat you anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a good Kendama player. I just want to put that out there.
Dude, I disagree. This is where I'm going with all this. Is that you've been playing longer than most of us, if not all of us that are listening to this, and
16
you
years.
have won things and whatnot, and you're like help shape the kendama itself to make it optimal for these things. And that's like your understanding of the tricks help you form your opinion on the shape of the ken itself, right?
Yeah,
like
I
if I
wasn't, that. Yeah, thank you.
If I wasn't so deep into playing kendama, I don't think I would be able to do things like on the lathe, like of making a kendama in the way that I want to. Like I wouldn't have been able to design the kocho shape in the way that I did, you know?
Yeah,
in the same way.
No, same
because
reason,
that's like where all that comes from.
Yeah. Same reason why, right? Like Gerald wants people in the company to understand kendama. It's like there's that connection that's really important. So and almost not lost with all that history.
Yeah, it's like you don't want people working at a beer factory that don't drink beer, you know? How are you going to know if your beer's any good?
True. Yeah. But shout out Yoni. That is good beer.
Yeah, shout out Yoni.
This was such a delight. I forgot because it's been like a year.
Yeah, man. When I worked at the brewery, which my boss was from the Yoni factory, fun fact.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah. That's how I know about Yoni beer. Before I ever went to Japan, I drank Yoni.
Oh, no shit.
Dude. So I worked at this brewery in Calgary called Wild Rose, and the main like boss came from Japan. His name is Manabu. And Manabu Kubota, like same last name as Tamotsu, which is even weird. And
no relation.
And he brought his little no relation. He brought his little like underling. Tomo was his name. Okay. And these two dudes worked at the brewery, and that's how I found out about, because they came from Yahoo Brewing, which is what makes Yoni. It's my understanding, I could be wrong, but it's my understanding that Manabu created the recipe for Aoni, for the IPA that they made.
Okay.
Oh, really?
The blue can, yeah. And like those dudes were the first ones to teach me Japanese words. Like, and while we're working, they would give me like little tidbits to go say to the other one, like just fucking around, because I'm always fucking around.
Yeah.
And so they'd be like, go to that guy and be like, "Hi, Jewbacca," like, hurry up, idiot. You know, and I'd say that to my boss, and he's like, "What? What did you say? Get back to work." You know. But where I was going with all this was in the morning, and the first thing when I was running the bottling machine or filling kegs or whatever, you had to taste the beer. make sure like before you bottle like a whole pallet of it, you make sure it's a good batch. So if I was somebody that didn't like beer, I wouldn't be very good at my job.
You'd be like, "Oh no, this is no good. We can't sell this.
Good.
Why is it so malty?
Put all that down the drain. All
again.
Of it.
You put leaves in this?
A few months later, no, this was no good either.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why'd you age it 6 months? What the fuck?
Yeah. Just imagine that on this spectrum. Like you fucking start working at the craft shop and you're like, you don't play kendama, you don't really like it. You just make it and you're like, yeah, then ball fits in the cup. Fuck it. Here you go.
Yeah. It looks right. Like, why the fuck not?
It's like close enough.
It's like old Damas with the eggy Tamas. They're
exactly.
Like, it's roundish.
I mean, that's how you get the ones that you go find on the street in Japan and shit. Those cheapo ones. They're made by some dude who just fucking pranks them out. He doesn't fucking play kendama.
No. Yeah. That's when you get this.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, you get that. Look at that.
You get this guy. Look how deep those cups are. Look at this. What is that?
Those are actual cups. You can drink out of that thing.
I thought it was a cherry tomato.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, base cup though.
Base cup could use some work. Yeah.
Yeah, it could use some work.
Oh man.
Also, I wanted to say, because when you said Baka, because like I introduced myself as Jewbacca, so like the first time going to Japan, and people were like, "Are you sure?" And I was just like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because they're like, it means idiot Baka." I was like, "So you're telling me it says idiot Jew, like pretty much?" And I was just like,
Jew,
dumb Jew, and I was just like, "Well, that's fair. I mean, they got me there." Not the most intelligent, but
the spelling though, you spelled it with C, double C.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the thing. Yeah,
it's like calling someone thick. You wouldn't call someone thick with a K.
That's true. That's true.
Holy shit! There's been so much. So this is why everyone, if you didn't know, if you haven't gotten it yet, this is why we have Ryan on the podcast for Damanerds, because the Jewy, because he has so much lore within Kendama, and especially Kendama USA, because you've been in there for such a long time. Dude, I mean, you mentioned that you were working at the warehouse, and I just wanted to go to because it went over kind of quickly, it feels like, from you fulfilling orders to crafting Kendamas.
Well, it was like 4 not long years, honestly, let me just say this. Yeah, it was only 4 years of just hardcore in the warehouse, pretty much every day. But we would go out to events and early battles when it was summer and winter. And I got lore, I got so much Southeast knowledge, but
some grande shit.
Yeah, dude, all day, fucking day, grande. I mean, I came on the talk earlier.
Full blown.
Full blown. Take off the shirt, because whenever I start a voice call with some people or a video call, for some reason I always have my shirt off, because I have the shirt on. Why? I'm at home. Who fucking cares? I don't care.
It's Georgia. It's hot down there.
It's it's also hot as shit down here. So don't judge me. Also, what's up?
What's up?
So. So I worked 4 years doing that, and then in 2018 is when it really moved up. But honestly, it did not. It the last 10 years have gone by so fast, because I'm saying a lot. My apologies.
It happens to the best of us.
And the never work a day in your life if you enjoy what you're doing, and genuinely the last 10 years I have not worked. I have a job for sure, but I love what I fucking do.
Oh yeah,
just pack an order. I have so much fun packing orders, because I love reading the messages people would write, because back in the day we would just people would write goofy ass shit, and we were just all right, here, I'll give you a bag, or send them wacky gift birthday cards. Whenever somebody would tell us it's for a birthday present, a lot of times we would write them a birthday card, and everybody in the office would sign it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We would do that.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of an interesting, very personalized gift for the people who are picking up the kendamas, that really connects and makes something more special. So I know that you guys at the Kusa warehouse, you had a big team, like T. Starnes is one I've always heard of. I've seen in, even hear in Japan videos and stuff. I've never met the man himself.
The man, the myth, legend.
Yeah.
It's such a myth of a legend.
And of course, with Alyssa being very prevalent, we had her on the Nerds too. We talked about it too. Having like a family. So let me ask.
Truly, some of my best friends, honestly, like, I love those people so much. They because they really, the heart and soul, truly. Like, I mean, everybody who has worked at Kendama USA for sure, and like even Dave. Like, I didn't get to work there when Dave worked there. He worked there like a year before I did, and then he moved back to San Diego. But just everybody who has worked there. Yeah.
Where
he lived in Georgia for like 2 years. Like the couch that used to be in Kendama USA used to be Dave's couch, and like we would all pass out on it and sleep.
That was around Dama Fest 2013 when he was either moving there or away, because all of his stuff was in the warehouse during that event. Yeah,
so I think he was just moving away because just a couple months later, like the next year. Yeah, so maybe he just moved there. But like his first edit, the Dave Mateo edit 1 or whatever, that was all shot in the local area of Marietta. Smyrna too, mostly Smyrna, I think.
All right.
I'll never forget that. Jeez. I have another little side rod tangent, but when I came to Dama Fest and I met everybody and whatnot, Dave was like, yo, I have something for you. And he like dug into all of his stuff, like went deep into his boxes, and he pulled out this dread hat, because I had dreads at the time that his mom had made him, and he gave it to me. And I still have that. And I still have that dread hat.
Was it called a tam? I think.
Maybe.
I think that's their name.
I've always just called it a dread hat, but I should. I think it is a tam. I should know that. But when I cut my dreads off, I actually kept them. I have them all in that dread hat that Dave gave me.
So sick.
-1. There's a homie that has one.
Oh, well, that's still though. That's still pretty sick. Like, that's cool that you gave it to a homie. But so I wanted to say the spot that we got coffee, like next to the trains, Dave's filmed his edit on that same alleyway. I thought I mentioned it.
You might have, actually.
But he, on that alleyway, right next to that brewery, it wasn't always a brewery, that's where he filmed part of that edit.
Damn. Yep. That's sick.
Which edit was this again?
The first one, the first POV, yeah. And then the bridge, I know exactly where because that path that it's on goes from Georgia to Alabama, and it's all bike trail. You can ride it. It's like 50 miles or some shit.
Damn. Whoa. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's fun to go on it sometimes. Like, Dodester lives off of it. So
my question was going to be for the warehouse family.
Yeah.
Including, maybe excluding Skaggs, let's hear a memorable story from the warehouse.
A memorable story from the warehouse.
Did anybody fall off the ladder trying to put their signature up on the wall?
Wait. Oh, which warehouse? I guess then is that what you just want it? Because we're on our, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
No,
we're on our
shit.
5th warehouse. I've helped move 4 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So which one? The very big one.
And since you've been there, it was just, give me a story. Well, it sticks out in your mind, like, oh man.
I don't think some of them. I know I can't say.
Sure you can. Come on.
Because we know,
one story I really enjoy. Actually, this is one of my favorite stories. Actually, so Wyatt and
it's gonna be good.
TJ were in town.
Oh man, making waves.
So we live in Atlanta. So if you know anything about Atlanta, it's a very big mecca for hip hop. So the South is we have a very certain style and like love for it and everything. So we're all big fans of certain rappers, and so Wyatt and TJ were in town. They were doing something, and there's a bunch of filming going on. And we were just moving into the 3rd warehouse. So the one that was like really big, like you can see a lot of Skaggs videos were filmed there. So like if you ever see the big wall, that this is the one I'm referring to. And also where Jake shot a lot of the product videos, which is one of my favorite memories, because me and Jake got to hang out. Jake Weens, we got to hang out for like 4 or 5 hours, and we just filmed a bunch of content. So like if you see any of the old product videos of like Jake standing there, I got to help film
him with
those
the Kaizen shirts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sick. Like this is that era. So we just moved in, and it was the day Gucci Mane was getting out of prison, and he got out at 10:17. So if you know anything about Gucci and all Brick Squad and like Flocka and all of them, 10:17 is the name of the address of the old Brick Squad like studio. And so he got out on that day. So we were like, oh fuck it. Like Gucci's finally free, like fuck yeah. And then he dropped a song at 10:17 and we were just bumping it, and like Jake was like, he came in, my roommate, and he was just like, oh, it fucking dropped. And we were like, what? And then we put it on, and like Wyatt heard like trap for the first time pretty much. Like he was just like, what is this? Like what? And like
did you
play
just
it? Really dug it.
Did you play it on your boombot?
Yeah, actually, we might have been. No, at that time we had a different speaker in the warehouse, but I did have it on my boombot hardcore. I'm a big boombot fan. Those things were fucking awesome. Yeah, so we played it and we were just like bumping Gucci all day, because then he dropped like the East Atlanta Santa out. I think it was 2. And so and we're just listening to that, and like this is when Migos were just starting, not just starting because it was like a year prior, but like they were just like really popping. And people were knowing who they were because like Gucci had them in their songs too. So we were just like bumping that hardcore and just showing TJ and fucking Wyatt like Atlanta rap music. And they're just like, okay. Yeah, because you know, like TJ at that time was really into that what's that dude's name?
Skag? What was his name?
He like fucking wears all black. Jeezy. I think that's his name. Right?
I thought you were gonna say Shaggy, but okay.
Shaggy.
I wish.
Shout out. He's been in funny commercials recently. So we were just like listening to them, and yeah, that's like a really fun one, because also at that time we had scooters. So like, because the loading dock area had a lot of bumps and like hips to hit, so we were skating, like skateboards, scooters. We would have blades, and we had like a flat bar back there too. And so we're just all hanging out one night and just like hanging in session there and like just bumping that music. That's one of my favorite memories, I would say.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Long-winded, but there you go.
All right. All right.
It sounds good. He painted a good picture. I like it.
You know,
yeah.
Just
the
hanging
atmosphere.
out, session, and then we go to like a brewery or something across the way.
Yeah. Oh man. And then there was another time when Skaggs was there working for Kusa when he was sponsored. He was working at the warehouse. And he is a part of your Grande squad.
Absolutely.
But is he the only person that is originally not from your area in that squad? Right? He's from
Yeah. He's not from Georgia. I mean, I'm not from Georgia either, but like I grew up here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like pretty much everybody, you know, like if you know you're affiliated with Grande, it pretty much, like, you know it is. But yeah, mostly all of us are locals.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like people moved to other states and everything. But you know, you know, if Grande fucks with you, you know what's up. You know.
So Skaggs, I think, you know, Skaggs is another one that's within the community, very well loved, and
I fucking love that dude.
You know, no matter what he does, he has like such a presence with him as well. Even though like we don't see him with the professional like name tag status,
he is. Everybody fucking knows. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so stoked that his mod finally came to fruition.
Yes.
But what was it like working with Skaggs, Brian, when you were working together? Yeah, Kusa.
Yeah. No. So it was fun too, because like I got to do a lot of video stuff. Like Jaro's always like been able to like give me some video stuff and like photography stuff to do. So it was like when Skaggs got there, it was fun to like work with him and like hang with him, because he was just like, I'm down. Like I want to hang out with you guys. Like, you guys want to go to the city? Like, let's go hang out in the city. Let's go do this. Running around, and like it was so much fun. It's just a bummer. Like I only got to spend a little bit of time in reality with Skaggs, even though you could probably be like, you guys hung out with each other a lot, it seems like. But he only lived there for a little bit, but I only lived there while he lived there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would drive back every 2 weeks, and I would hang out with everybody. I would make my rounds, say what's up to my folks, and then, you know, hang out with all the Dama homies and then all my local homies. And Yeah, it was so much fun hanging out with Skaggs. The day Skaggs left, because the day he was leaving, I was still living in Chattanooga, but I drove back because he needed some help like loading up stuff, and like his girlfriend at the time, Erin, already left because she had to go do like work stuff, but he had some time off because he worked like with Apple and Kendama USA, so it's like he was able to bounce shit. And so the last night he was in Georgia, me, him, Lyndon just fucking partied our asses off, and he left at like 4:00, 5:00 in the morning to drive all the way back to Pittsburgh to make it that night. I was like, you're a fucking animal. And I drove back to Chattanooga like 2 hours after he left. But we just fucking partied our asses off in Lyndon's basement and like hung out for the night, and, you know, did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then, yeah, so that was a really good memory. But yeah. I miss working with that dude genuinely. Like, one of my favorite people. Just so fucking funny. So funny to work with.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah. Exactly. And so there was that, and then he just like brought a different energy for sure, because at that time the crew that was working at Kusa was just like so like good. It was Sharif, Alyssa, Joanna was still there, Charles and me were still there, Jake was working there, this art designer named Darnell, shout out Darnell, he lives in California now with him and his wife, but he fucked with Dama, but he didn't really get it. Or no, he got it, but it was like more like, it was just like kind of like a job, but he just designed stuff, but he loved like hanging out with us and like learning about Kendama. And he played a little bit too. And then Sharif and like, so like just the crew that was there, and like Jero and like just all of us. And also Dodester worked there. Shout out Dodester too. So we all had like a good time and just hanging and, you know, playing Dama and just hanging out, traveling with each other too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And also one of the last times before Brian like fully moved, we did the Creeper Reel tour, so I got to do that. Like we went from Minnesota all the way down to like Kentucky and Chicago and Detroit, Chattanooga, and back to Atlanta.
You were on that tour? You were in the van?
Yeah, I was driving and I was filming. Jero brought me on to do like all like, like behind the scenes videoing, and just so like Skaggs has somebody else there with him. And also like we took turns driving. Like me and Skaggs drove the whole way, and then like,
you guys didn't make Nobu drive?
Bro, Nobu lasted 5 minutes in the car, and then he passed out instantly. It was very impressive. He was like, jealous.
He was like 16 at the time, wasn't he?
Dude, he might have been 15 or 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now he's like 21, so
2018. So
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, about there. So
you were filming mostly like content and helping out with driving.
Yeah.
You get any footage of the pumpkin smashing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I stole one of the pumpkins.
Classic.
Like, we just drove up to a couple places, and like one of them I was like the getaway, because I was like the getaway driver pretty much. I was just like, guys, I'm gonna fucking rip because we're not supposed to be here. It's like 2:00 in the morning in the middle of fucking Chicago. So we're just like, all right, let's smash this pumpkin in front of all these. Just smashed in, like jumped in the car and dived in, and we just sped off, and then we went to the next city. That's how it went.
That's
creeping
so
it real.
Fun. Oh, creeping it real.
And then like when the cops showed up at Mags's house, Mags's mom's such an angel for dealing with that.
Whoa. What was that actually a part of? And that was in the video?
Yeah, that was
in the video, right?
Yeah. So I'll put a little bit more context on it. So a kid didn't tell his parents where he was going, because Zach was throwing like a Halloween party, and so we were just like, oh yeah, let's hang out and like all that shit. So we were doing that, and like this kid who was like, oh my god, I can't believe all these pros are here, and he was like, I'm gonna just be here for a bit, and never told his parents. And then it got back to his parents by like morning. Like, hey, he's at this place, and just I'm passed out on the ground. I just want to put the position. So like, here's the front door, and behind, and like I'm getting up, like I'm laying down where the staircase is because I passed out because I was like, Zach's mom gave us like some, like, at least me and Skag. She gave me and Skag's beer because we were just like, at that point,
the adults.
we were 28. Yeah. So they were like, hey, do you guys want a beer? And we were like, yeah. And like me and Brian were just like drinking. One of the funniest things, at a certain point, me and Brian, all of them passed out and we're kind of like drinking. We're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I saw that they have the Charlie Brown Halloween special. And I was just like, you want to watch fucking Halloween special? And then we went upstairs, grabbed a bunch of snacks, sat down on Mags's couch in the basement, and we're just like drunk, like just kind of like watching it and like just eating, and we're just like, happy Halloween, buddy. It was like one of the funniest.
Just awaiting the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we watched the Christmas one too, because we were like, why not just watch all fucking three? Like the Thanksgiving and then that.
Oh, damn. That's a sick little sesh.
So like the next morning we were like, let's go upstairs because it's too fucking cold in the basement. So we went upstairs and like all the spots are taken. I was like, I'll just pass out on these stairs. It's fine. I don't care. And I just pass out like at the bottom of the stairs because like I can sleep anywhere pretty much, I think.
That sounds like a sketchy spot to sleep.
Well, yeah, in retrospect, yeah, that was not good because like somebody could have stomped on my head. But I wake up, I'm like kind of waking up and I'm like, oh God, I smell like alcohol. So I go upstairs and brush my teeth. And then like, oh fuck, the cops are here. And I was just like, oh fuck, the cops are here. I'm like having a mental panic because I'm like not the best with cops. And I'm just like, fuck. So I'm just like,
and the place you're at
Zach Magson's parents' house.
House. There's kids. There's from this party, people are still in the house, just sleeping.
Yeah. This is like probably
House
like
party.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
The next morning. So like I'm off like maybe like 5 hours of sleep. And I'm just like kind of waking up like, huh? And then I hear the cops are here. I'm like, I look at Brian and we were kind of like talking like, grab the fucking camera. And then we grabbed the camera and we just started recording. Yeah. But it sucks because there's a lot more audio that you can hear. But since we were inside and it was set for outside because we were filming beforehand outside.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The settings. And so like you really only see a lot more of me filming when I get downstairs because I already get the light kind of set up right. But yeah. And and then I caught all that on tape. And then Mags's mom didn't realize that I was filming. She's like, were you filming that the whole time? I was like, yeah, it was.
Love that.
So
hell yeah.
So that's on the Creep It Real video up on YouTube. Yeah, I remember I recall that now. Amazing.
That's one of the funniest things on that tour, I would say. Also, I guess like the gummy ring thing. Okay, I rewatched it recently because we were just showing videos to people. And the thing that the woman did legitimately told me like straight up, like it's not there. And I was just like, what? I'm like walking around and I couldn't find it. And then then the whole incident with why like I fucking found it in 5 seconds. I was like, bro, I'm not denying it, but like somebody else I heard them say we don't have those. And like we walked out. So I just want to make that clear. Did not try to fuck over Wyatt on that scenario. And I don't know if he still thinks I did, but I did not try to fuck him on gummy rings.
It's like he probably does. I needed those gummy rings.
I did get some of those gummy rings because I was like, Wyatt, I do believe you, but I'm just saying, like, and he gave me some of those gummy rings. They were pretty fucking sick.
That's so funny.
Peaches, they're so good.
Man.
Shit.
Oh, man.
Well, there's some more nerd homework for all you nerds listening. Go watch the Creep It Real video. I'm going to have to go brush up on this homework my damn self.
Right.
I don't think I've watched it in a long time.
Yeah. It's a good watch. It's a nice, like, go down memory lane. There's, like, a lot of, like, at the beginning, so I stood outside, me and Skaggs, who were ordering Uber because we had to go pick up the car. And then the opening of it is like him just like kind of standing there on his phone, like singing. That probably went on for like 5-10 minutes. Like there's like way funnier parts of it, I feel like. Because like we both start singing at a certain point, and then Haley and I forgot who else came out, but they were like, oh, we're trying to film this trick. And then there's like some tricks that we tried to film, but didn't get put into it.
Oh shit! And
then all the awkward. And I also filmed it while we were inside trying to get the car because I was just like, "Oh, let's do that." And I guess it didn't work or something, or like it wasn't as funny, or it was like a bit weird.
Didn't make it in.
Yeah, it didn't make it in, so like that footage is somewhere out there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier with like being teenagers with cameras, and now we're doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Just fucking turning it on while you're getting in shit. Just like,
So much fun.
Yeah.
I just soft candid recording like that. Oh, it's so much fun.
I love it. I'm about it.
You've had your hand in so many areas within Kendama, and especially Kendama USA, right? Doing product shots, videos and stuff, shipping, and now your main spot is creating kendamas for people to play. Creating high-end kendamas from the craft shop. Very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty
huge
fucking
cups. Huge.
Wow. Very nice.
In many different shapes, and so especially so it's
so big.
So this is a really cool thing, I think, because we have Dama players regularly on the pod, so to hear someone from kind of the craftsman side of it, luckily Rod has a big hand to play as well, creating kendamas. But tell us about craft. Tell me more about like your shape and what you want to do with it, because crafts has had a few different iterations. Let's start from the first craft. Was it just a craft? Was there a name to it?
Yeah. So craft started in 2016. The idea of craft. So like craft is the line. You know how like tributes are a line.
Yeah.
And like Kaizen is the China version of the, but we have the Kaizen 1 and they have the Kaizen 2.0. So like, and so craft is just the American made line. And I mean, I guess now people like to call it the craft shop. So like, that's what it's called. So the first one was the Kaizen, or do we just call it the Kaizen 1? I think we just called it the Kaizen 1. I still have the blueprints, like on the old like computer, like it still has the blueprints and like names and everything. So I don't know, I haven't checked it. But so we got like the Kaizen 1 and the Kaizen 2.0, and then we have the Slims, and then we have and then you have the pluses. So you had the Slim Plus, and you had the Kaizen Plus.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Shift, and then you have the 2.0 Slim, and then you go to the Shift Plus and Shift Slim Plus. And then you got to the Nova, and then you get to the Jet, you get to the Luna, you get to the Saga,
Cascade.
You got Cascade, you got the Erie, you got even though it's a partnership, the park shape with Soul.
Oh yeah.
So like it's a half.
Oh, that was its own shape.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
That was a whole thing.
That was a really fun weekend working with Chad and Alex and Lyndon and Zach and who else was there? Was it what's his nuts? Watts. I believe Watts.
Yeah. What's his Watts?
Jacob.
Yeah. What's his nut? Watts.
So wow,
I say that all the time. What's his nuts?
I like that one,
dude. So that's a lot of shapes. That's a lot of iterations.
And that's just like Kendama USA. Besides the X Soul, and then like all the GTs, Terras that we've done,
all the US made GTs. Yep.
The Sue 365s, the 365s.
Oh,
some protos for some other people that like I'm not gonna drop, but like a couple of protos for some people, and so like
a couple Cocho protos.
Out there. So like I think we've done at least over 20 different shapes.
Yeah,
or almost 20. Almost.
Yeah,
so almost 15,000 kendamas in almost 20 different shapes.
Dude, so last year was the fifth year that we were as like the shop, like the wood shop craft, whatever. It was the 5th year, and like I noticed it early in the year. I was like doing math and like doing through my history, and I'm like, holy fuck, we might hit 15,000 this year. Like the 5th year hitting 15,000, like what a fun like number thing. Sadly, we did not hit it. We were very close. So like this year we are 100% going to hit it, and it's like, it's fucking amazing.
You got plans for the 15,000th one, like that one in particular?
I hope it's a certain shape. I don't know if I want to say it now because like I know you guys we're recording this in the future, kind of like
it will. I don't know when it's
fully dropping, but like I genuinely hope. I need to look at it tomorrow because I have like paperwork I got to start tomorrow. But like I'm gonna just map it out and see what it kind of leads to. Because if whatever it is, it might not be the shape. It might even be a saga. But regardless, like it's cool that it's a shape I got to help like form and all that.
I mean, you got to help build all of them from the sounds of it.
Not
in some
all
way,
of them.
shape, or form.
Yeah, shift I was there for.
I mean, whether you were like the one giving the main input or not, you're still the one throwing it in the CAD file. You're still the one pulling it off the lathe and drilling the holes and sanding it and making it proper. So you got to hand in it one way or another.
It's funny because as soon as like craft started, they used to send us all the pieces and we would have to construct it ourselves. So from the very get-go, every craft that has been made, I have strung up.
Damn.
Every craft ever that's been put out there, I have strung pretty much all of them up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
if you got a craft, make sure you have a good look at that knot and check this man's handiwork. Not to mention what that knot's tied to.
Maybe a bearing.
Hey, I was talking about the wood, but hey, it could be
that's true. Shout out Birch.
It's Birch. Give me all the birch. All your birch belongs to me.
If you got a walnut piece, let me know, please, because that's my favorite one. And because my walnut collection, I think I'm at like 32 pieces now.
Yeah, those craft walnuts that you did a little bit ago is dope looking.
One of the coolest things ever, because like that walnut's been there since I started going to the RWB shop, like in 2016.
Yeah.
So, or late 17. So yeah, they've been there for a minute. And so, it's kind of crazy to think that just in this like almost 6 years, like coming up in March, close to 15,000. It's fucking wild to think about.
You guys have been grinding.
Dude, seriously, like we wouldn't be here without Jero, Smith and Kristen, Tabor, Braden, Corey, who's in there now, and all the homies who actually helped us move back. Yeah, shout out Snipes. And like all the local homies that helped move the shop and have helped in that sense too. Like, very much appreciative of everybody who has helped out in any way at the shop and who's ever come to the shop and been able to like put up their country's flag and represent for the shop. So very much appreciate all of you.
They say it takes a village to spin a ken.
They do say that, you know.
I dig that.
So yeah, nerds. We've been grinding for about 2 hours. We've been nerding for 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
Getting the nitty gritty.
Going deep in different areas of Ryan's love, passion with Kendama, a special connection with Kendama USA. We're going to have the Q&A right now for all of you lovely patrons, people who are supporting over on Patreon. If you're on that 5 tier and up, you're able to ask a question to all of our guests. You get a little message before our recording, so I let everyone know that you're coming on the show. And just a sidestep from that, the picture that I used was something that I believe, Ryan, you wanted to discuss.
I was going to bring it up if it didn't come up. So
yeah, you're calling me out, man.
We all want to hear it.
We all need to hear. So to paint
Tell
a
us,
picture,
Ryder, what are you wearing pants right now, bud? You wearing pants?
I'm not wearing pants. I refuse it. I'm wearing shorts right now. I literally came from the shop and like came over to the house and just hung out until we were ready.
Ryan, you are notoriously known for wearing shorts, and in almost all the time you have shorts on. So this was brought up because the picture that I used for Patreon, it's a picture of you in pants.
Yeah, so that was taken in Michigan when I went to go visit Mags. We went up for his birthday. He wanted to go back home. I was like, yeah, I'll drive up with you, and like it was a really fun trip. So I'm not originally from Georgia. I'm from Connecticut. And like when I was a kid, I went up there a lot, and like my parents used to send us during like winters and like hang out and all that kind of shit.
Yes, I talked about this. I forgot you are a nutmegger.
I'm from Hartford. I was born in Hartford Hospital in Yukon.
There you go. Oh wow, up north.
And
From where I live. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were
Not
close
the
to
North Yukon we got, bud.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
the Yukon Huskies, baby. Shout out to
Hey.
the women's team. They're the best. The women's basketball.
Hey,
Yeah, from Windsor, like Windsor Locks area.
Dude, that area.
That's where.
Dude, cold. Why are you wearing shorts all the time? That area is
Well,
cold.
I know it's cold. Like I remember when I was like a little kid and it being cold and everything. But like genuinely, I don't wear shorts, or I don't wear shorts. I wear no pants or shorts. No, I don't wear pants because I sweat like a lot on my legs, so I'm like always really hot there.
Yeah.
And also like I get way more mobility when I'm in shorts.
shorts
Like,
are far superior.
I've always like ever since like I really started like in middle school, like just really wearing just shorts all the time. Like I had my Dickies, I had some of those parachute pants with the zippers. They could pop them into shorts, or if they're
okay.
Oh yes, the not tearaways.
No, they weren't tearaways. They had zippers. There was a guy at the juggling festival.
I was
going to
say that
pair.
homie at the juggling. Yes, dude. He like unzipped them and just let them hang on his shoes that had springs on the heels. His name was Dan.
I didn't have those,
homie.
but I had that exact same pair. Well, mine were yellow, but like, yeah. But yeah, so I'm a shorts person. Like, I don't really get cold. Like when I get cold, it's my nose or my fingertips. That's really whenever I get my bathroom bumping that. Whenever I get like actually cold, that's what that is.
So you're fine with
you
shorts.
gotta go to where
I'm fine with
where
short-
I'm
and
from, bud. You want to wear shorts? In
Yeah,
the
I know.
wintertime.
I went to Montreal when I was a kid because that's where my grandfather's from, and I remember it being kind of cold, but it wasn't like winter cold. It was like I think we were there like November-ish. I think
That's pretty wintry.
Yeah, but it wasn't like at that point yet where it was like slush and snow everywhere. Like it was still kind of like maybe it was like October, but like
I see.
Was Christian able to get you in pants for his wedding at least?
Yes, that's the photos I thought you guys were gonna maybe want or something because there is a few of those, and it's funny because in the Kusa chat, like right before battle, everybody was like, "How should I pack?" and everything. I'm like, "Oh, it should be fine in shorts weather." You know, like I'll just make the joke because everybody's like, "Here's fucking Ryan, like he doesn't have a shirt on and like he's just wearing shorts and his bare feet are out," and like I'm just like chilling. As soon as I can, I'll pop off the shirt and get rid of the shoes and socks instantly. I'm
with it.
Ready for the Hawaiian weather.
I'm ready for the Hawaiian. I live in Georgia, and yeah, it's always fucking the humid.
Oh man!
So we just made that joke, and they're like, "I don't think I've ever seen Ryan in pants," and I wrote back, "And you never will." But now that you guys posted that, it's funny because the reason that happened is because
I took that from your IG account.
I understand that, yes, and you know
it was the only
maybe
picture
some people
I could
should
find
do
out.
better knowledge
else
on
was
me.
videos, but
fair enough. Oh yeah, 20. I mean, I might do the 20 tricks later at the end again. I don't know. But so Mags's mom didn't believe me that I was like very comfortable, and so Mags was like, "Just put on the pants, man." I was like, I'm gonna sweat so much. Like I know this is gonna fuck me. And like luckily I did put on the pants because it was like deep, so like it kind of was better.
So
but like I had the proper
protection.
boots. Yeah, but like I had the proper boots and everything. But like it got sweaty, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, it's so hot. But like it was nice to have it. But yes, there's some photos of me with pants. So if you can find them,
where's Waldo?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like if you want to,
can we call you that? Your name changes to Waldo when you wear pants. So you can never find you.
When you wear them.
I'm down.
Where's Waldo? Waldo doesn't fucking exist, Ron. Where is he?
It's like
Waldo is somewhere sweating, uncomfortable.
You see a guy just man sitting, or where he's like all out. It's
just
hot.
shaking his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
I found him. That's him.
So here we go. Questions. We got 3 pretty awesome questions. One comes from Corey. Is that an L? Snipes?
That's
Little Snipes.
That's Little Snipes, but his last name is Sipes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So he asks, how big is the craft shop? What's your favorite experience? Oh, this is multiple questions.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. How big is the craft shop?
It's really not that big. It's like
okay. Next one.
maybe like
what is your
13
favorite experience from the old shop and your favorite experience in the new shop?
That
was good. What's my favorite experience at the shop?
At the old shop, and then your favorite in the new one.
I got some terrifying stories at the old one. There's some like sketchy ass stories.
Learning.
But my favorite, probably getting to go there the first time and like really seeing it and like Eric showing me around. That was probably one of my favorite times.
It's like Willy Wonka, Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is how the sausage is made, and like, seeing that, and it was just
gross.
Like, yeah, it's not as gross. I mean, have you seen sawdust?
I mean, yeah, maybe if you were a tree.
Exactly. I feel it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm the Lorax. So that was probably one of my favorite times at the old shop. At the new shop, probably like Probably every time I get to see somebody put up their country's flag. I guess that's probably my favorite. Like, Rod did it.
Yeah.
Lisa did it. Tio did it. I saw awesome. Nobu. He did it at the first shop. Yeah. And then it sucks because she was there a couple times, but we never had the flag in. Shout out Mihi. But there's a Serbian flag up there for her to represent. So
okay.
Nice.
You know.
There you go. Next question, still from Corey. Which 3 pro players are your dream picks to create something in the shop with?
Ooh, that's a good question. We kind of talked about this a little bit when I was in Atlanta with you.
Yeah, we did talk about this. Yeah. Damn, that's a really good. I mean, like really thinking about it, like even though it's not like a pro player, like Tumatsu would be amazing. Just to understand, like, his thought.
Right.
That'd be really sick. But pros, like current pros, I guess. Old pros,
all time.
Of all time, probably Sander would be one of them. I fucking loved getting that dude's head. I feel like I've gotten into like, I like you and Smith. Like I feel like I've picked your guys' brain and just seen you guys work. So that's like always like really nice. Who I would like to fully sit down, like, since I'm like fully doing it now, like between like you and Smith would be really fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like I've worked with like really awesome people so far and like gotten to do that shit. So it's like, who else would it be? And how does it to be an open? Maybe like Roush. I don't know. That'd be kind of sick. Yada for sure. I want to like.
I was thinking Yada actually.
Yada, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see a Yada shape.
Yeah.
Me too, man. There's so many people. Like, honestly, top 3, and it's not in specific order, but like those guys for sure. But there's just like so many people. Like, I would love to work with and like, I don't know.
It's like me and Rod when we're looking at their list of who else to contact.
Yeah, who's the next one?
You know?
It's like,
you're like, okay, let me go down. It's a fucking scroll.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Dude, it's a never-ending scroll. It gets added to like daily.
Oh, yeah. God. All right, last one from Corey. Tell me about your coworker's nasty self.
Take a shower. That's all I'm going to say. Take a shower. You talking about me being nasty? Like, I guess, yeah, there are some mornings I forget to brush and like I just
when you wear pants, right? When Waldo comes up,
that's bugging. Yeah, that's disgusting. That's a disgusting human being. When Waldo's in the room, I'm not in. He's the worst.
Oh man. So
he's always got a hot take.
Awesome. We got another one, kind of connecting what you just mentioned a little bit ago from Max Ida. Do you have any?
Max, shout out Max.
Oh my God, that was dangerous. Stories from the shop.
Oh,
okay. How many can I talk about?
Best one.
One.
So
somebody sent us compressed hempwood.
Compressed hemp.
Yeah. So there's no glue or anything in it. So
okay.
So all it is just hemp strings and like
that sounds kind of sketchy.
No glue.
1,000%.
How did it feel? It was still solid.
It was heavy. It was like. Wow. 30 pounds. easily. Like, and it was only, I think it was like 13 inches long, and it was like 4 inches in diameter.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I had to cut it down. So I had to cut it on the bandsaw, which it fucking destroyed the blade.
Whoa.
And it smelled terrible, like so bad. So just running it through the bandsaw just to get it ready for the faceplate and like get it ready to set on the machine. And so I do that and get it all trimmed down, but it's still so big. So I have to like reposition the guard on the machine.
Okay.
And so I load it all up, start spinning it, and it starts going in, it's doing pretty good, get to a certain point. But as soon as it hit like one point, and it has to do with like the length as part of the problem. And also probably the compressed aspect that there's like no fucking glue on it. But the like it was just like too short. So when you have it that short on the machine, it kind of like the grip of it kind of loses it. But the way that this piece was made, it exploded and it shot at me and it shot at the wall and it broke in half. Like I still have it at the shop because I'm just like daily reminder, like that threw at my face. That like just like, and I remember calling Jeremy. I'm like, bro, I can't do this. This is like too sketchy. He's like, totally understandable. Please don't do it if you're like in any danger whatsoever. Like, just shut everything down. So I was just like, I'm just gonna. Like, it's not, I don't think we can use this kind of stuff. And he's like, that's fine. Like,
that sounds
that's
so
why
sketchy.
we tested it. That's why we tested it just to see if it worked. Because, like, we've gotten a couple other, like, test billets in the past. So, like, testing out, like, random pieces isn't, like, uncommon.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh, yeah, this is, like, another piece.
Yeah.
But, like, the way it exploded, I was just like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I could have had a head.
It made in contact with you or it hit the guard?
It hit the guard. So luckily, like, and Rod's seen the guard. It like it's literally
it's
like
a cage.
little, and it's just like if you hit it hard enough, it will like open for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Okay,
but I mean that's why it's there though.
Yeah,
exactly. So like it does
its job that day.
For fucking real.
Damn, that shit is terrifying, man. Spinning wood coming flying at you is fucking not what you want.
No, not at all. And especially like. I've had pieces like come off the lathe in general because like there's teeth that like hold it into place, and it's crazy. We haven't even really talked about like the inner works of the shop too. But like just the way it grips on the machine, the teeth on it it's just a drive stock. You can like it's like what's on the tail stock of
it's a live center. It's called
live center. Thank you. Yes. Hey, I'm still learning. Live center. So this certain live center that we put on the machine, at a certain point, it's eventually going to like get dull because I'm smashing wood into it. So the teeth will bend sometimes. So like it will come loose. It naturally does that because like it's moving at 75,000 PM. So like it's going fast, it's spinning, and like when you hit stop, you're like hardcore stopping it.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes pieces will fly off because like that piece is dull. So then I realized, wait, I got to change this. So I got to chisel it out, redo it, and then put on a new piece. So, shit like that sometimes happens. But that was probably the most like work wise, like, oh my God, I can't believe that fucking happened. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yikes. Third and final question from Daniel Robinson.
Oh, hey.
Our industry is still very small. Do you think more cooperative actions between Kendama companies will help grow and strengthen it?
That's a really good question, and thank you for wanting my take on it. I feel so fancy because D-Ro, holy fuck.
Better
put on those pants, dude.
No, Waldo might. No, Jewbacca's here. He's got the shorts and everything. In reality, I should just pop off the shirt, really.
There we go. Yeah, bring the real Jewbacca out. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys want to see how I got the name. I'm not that hairy, but I just want to put that out there.
That's because you ripped a man's arm off and beat him with it, right?
Well, I mean, hey, when you got to do it, you got to do it. People got to learn. So I do think that. I think we should. Now, I do like the idea of like I think we should, like me personally, because I love learning about kendama, and I want to, like, Rod's heard me go on my fucking tangents about, like, this is what I like, because we need to design the kendama in this way because of, like, how it flips this way, because of the positioning of the string hole here, and then, like, why are we doing these angle cuffs? Like, I've gone on fucking diatribes about it, but, like, I do think we do need to work more closely together, and, like, I understand because we're such a small market, there's so much, like, pieces of the pie for everybody.
Right.
But, like, just doing, like, little small collabs, like, you know, like Soul in the Kusa park shape, or like the Colt with Sweets. Like, I want to work with everybody personally. Like, at Battle, I bought a lot of kendamas because I was like, oh, there's a new shape here, there's a new shape here, I need that. Because, like, I also have a book that's probably at least 70 pages of different shapes I've copied over the last 6 years, and, like, I've taken measurements. I copy all the information I can so it would help me, like, design a kendama, and, like, what are we looking for? What parts do we like this? What's the, you know, kind of thing like that. So me personally, I think working with each other, because we can open up our minds and, like, see, like, what can change about a kendama. What are we doing wrong? Not wrong, but, like, what are we doing while we're not improving it? And, like, are we going too big? Are we not going too big? Are we right at the perfect height? Maybe we should have this. Should have that. Why are we doing the string length of this? Why not do the fucking string hole that deep instead of, like, a shallower thing or something? You know what I mean?
Why even have a string hole? Yeah.
And, like, I know people have talked, like, oh, we're gonna start running out of ideas, and, like, kendama's just gonna have, like, a fucking brick wall. But no, not really, because, like, think about skateboarding and how, like, we went from the concave and the reverse tail and, like, the flat ends and all that kind of shit. Like, a lot of people like to make kendama, like, look so much like the skateboarding industry, I think. And, like, how personality and, like, getting it out there, because, like, people want it in the Olympics or at games or whatever. I just want to play kendama. I don't really care, but, like, it would be cool. It would be cool. Like, I wouldn't be against it anyway, but, like, I think not enough people are looking at the micro adjustments that we need to look at as, like, kendama is, and, like, how we've moved from, like, right here, like, you know, from, like, just a single stripe, and now we have a half split stripe with, like, dots and, like, the different lunar holes too, you know, like, the industry of, like, lunar holes are just, like, crazy to think about. Like, the thinking of, like, the 365 one, or the Adrian, or, like, the new beveled ones that we did,
or the Max Angel one.
The Max,
I think the
new Marcus's, like, with the finger point one.
That's something. That's like one of those. Oh, the Marcus. I call it the predator tracking.
That's a good one.
And then the Angel. That's like, you know, when you were in grade school and you had those erasers that went on top of your fucking pencil.
Yes, that's exactly.
That's Max Angels.
I have a next level appreciation for that now. So thank you, MJ.
Man. But I bet, you know what? All we need to do is go to Kazuma's shop and be like, dude, tell me the ideas that you have that we're like, nah, I'm not going to do that shit. And we'll do it. Because I bet that guy has got a bunch where it's like, no, that's not going to work. Or,
Yeah, I would love to pick his brain, and the grandfather from Azora. Like, I just want to pick his brain too. Like, Kazuma would be amazing, like, but, like, the grandfather.
Kazuma will have, like, I think, a new take on it, and
hell yeah.
He's a little more, like, secretive with his shit though too. Like, he's not as open with sharing, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta ask for the stuff he threw away. His crumbs.
When I went to his shop, he opened up the new shop, and I was with a bunch of the kids or whatever, and we all went to his shop and hung out. And every time I walked near one of the machines, I started looking at it, he would run in front of me and like, everybody else can see this. Fuck off,
no, not you.
No taking notes, buddy. You know too much. And I was like, man, I don't want to steal your shit. I'm just
before
curious.
Going to the shop,
like, dude, you invited me.
Folded.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to know the location. Actually, I had a bag over my head, got thrown in the trunk.
Had to drink some weird minty liquid.
Yeah. They pulled the bag off and handed me a snow gold. They're like, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Oh,
Red tips, no gold.
Oh man.
I mean, I got the box of tips. I can get whatever tip I want. Like,
Fair enough. I
I
still
think
think
mine.
that's
I
like
have
the
the gold
classiest
tip
one.
on mine actually.
Oh, that's pretty hard.
Yes, sir.
I
I
like
could.
that.
I don't have the original gold Mugen, so I had to do something.
It's close.
I was close to getting one. Fucking sweet. Anyway.
But did I answer Dira's question? I guess
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should all work closer.
More
but I
cooperative
also
actions,
understand like
between
people
Kendama
want to
companies,
stay.
yeah.
But I understand like people want to kind of keep it separate from each other, like because like it's still an industry, and like
A little
people
competition
talk
is
and
healthy as well, right?
exactly. And I think that's the best part about Kendama too, because it's like it's a healthy competition. Like it's,
Totally.
like people think like Sweets and Kusa just are like ready to fucking slit each other's throats sometimes.
that
Like,
was
especially
that was
back
only
in
in
the
Latvia.
day. Yeah, exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no hatred. Like, like I've seen Jeremy and Sweets have conversations. Like,
Oh,
so,
dude, yeah.
like-
Both of them are like such nice dudes. Neither of them would ever throw a punch at anything. Never mind. Well, Sweets would
Dude.
punch a controller maybe, but other than that,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down with that.
yeah, I'm right there with him.
Jared's climbing, he's punching rocks, and it's just
Yeah, that's only to make his hand hold. That's how he climbs.
yeah, exactly.
Punches the hole.
Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but are you possibly letting people know if they're a small company to, hey, why not just send us a message, reach out, maybe we can work something together, because cooperation can be something to help everyone grow.
Always
Uh-huh.
down. Like people do ask and like hit me up, and I'm like, technically, you got to talk to Jero, like, because like he makes like more of the decisions, and he does like the business aspect. I'm there. I'm the like creative, I guess, in a sense. You sit with me for like the time.
As well as people can kind of easily access you. Jero is one that, not active on
True.
social media. Sometimes you can't find him.
I do start a lot of emails like that because like they don't know how to get in touch with them. So I'll start like the email. But yeah, no, always down to like talk about like, hey, you guys are wanting to proto something, and like you guys want to get some stuff made with us. Because like here's the thing, like, and it's not shit talking, because like I do a hybrid system. It like we do partially hand turning and we do partially like from the CNC. The CNC just makes the skeleton pretty much, and then we do everything else by hand, and like the tools that we have, and like the quality that we put out is, I think, not saying anybody who does the hand turning is like your guys is shit because I noticed this and this. Not what I mean by that. It's more like there's a lot of history and a lot of thought that goes into what we're doing, because we've spent a lot of time in it, and like I think
it's dialed.
And see, that's the thing. It's like so dialed, and like with Dama, it's thank you, sir. He can see it. He's seen the eyes.
I saved it.
Seen it, and so like we just like take a lot of I take a lot of pride in what I do, because like I'm very proud of it, and like I don't know, just I hope everybody who gets one and has one just know like I've put a lot of my time and a lot of my hours into like making sure it's something that you will play, it will last you a long time, and you enjoy it. So yeah,
Full of love.
yeah, it's just full of love, and not saying like the other companies who do hand turns aren't putting in the same love. It's just like I've seen like just quality, like some of the stuff from like China. Sometimes I'm just like, bro, this just proves the fact, like, if you want to get like a really good quality product, like come to us. Like we do really quality, and like also any of the other hand turners and who are like really putting in the work, like true wood turners out there. I'm like a half.
Yeah.
But like the like try to get like something made from like one of us, because we put in a lot of love and care, like AJ and Evo, like Kyle there, and Rod and Smith, and it's just like we've put a lot of our time into it. And like shout out to the Prelude guy from Alabama. He like just started his stuff recently. So
Man,
there's a lot of good people out there right now.
Absolutely. And there's only becoming more and more as more people get into Kendama and more of the world accepts it and stuff like that. More people with that kind of a perspective come into it. So we're seeing more and more hand turning companies pop up. Like you mentioned, Occult.
Yeah.
Like there's in Europe, there's AKA, there's Dama.
Yeah, AKA, yes.
Hand Plan.
Love it.
There's
PK.
like there's
Perspective,
PK.
yeah.
There's like a million, like all
even
over the
Origins,
world.
they're on the same
Origins,
level too.
Origins is exactly. Like there's so many people putting in that effort to get this quality shit and to make it so that all of us nerds can play some really nice toys, you know. Really
and it's
nice.
cool too because of how different. And I guess that's like one thing I really love about like the individual, like us all not working with each other, because we get so many different shapes and it gives so many people an outlet being like, I like playing this, I like playing that, I'm a slinger, I'm a stall, I'm a juggler, you know, like bro, like the idea that like Lisa came in, we had like 12 hours with her and we fucking created though over the next couple months afterwards, I talked to her a lot, and I was just like, I can slightly switch this. She's like, okay. And it was just like a lot more replacement. But we did pretty much the whole cascade in like 10 to 12 hours. Hardcore sesh. A lot of people were like, oh, well, you can do all kendamas like that. Don't ever do kendamas like that. Like if you're going to prototype a kendama, literally spend 3 days. Because one, you're not like scatterbrained. Like you know what you want. You like... We can hone in the machine better. We can change the files slightly, sanding, you know, drilling. It all has to change. So, like, genuinely, like 3 days is when you can get a good kendama. The fact that GT did the 2, the Adrian, the Ben 2, and the Tio in 3.5 days, really.
Yeah.
I'll never do that again. That was so intense, but it was so much fun. Like, we had so many good nights there. Like, that's one good night there, too. Like, we bought pizza at this local spot, and they had some, like, chicken wings. So, like, Weens got, like, a bunch of pizzas and chicken wings, and we were working until, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're just, like, eating and, like, playing music and, like, hanging out. So that's, like, one of the cool ones about this shop. Yeah, I think that's really awesome because, like, obviously I want people to be playing the shapes that I make, but, like, it's so cool that we have so many different styles out there because that's going to help create new outlets and, like, people are going to rediscover some, you know, like, why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we curving the spike this way? Or why aren't we doing the slip ring this way? Because, like, the Cascade to me is, like, a great example, like, of just, like, thinking of truly outside the box. And also shout out to, like, Ghost Town with the Erie shape. It's so old school feeling, but also, like, new school feeling at the same time.
Ooh, interesting.
And I just fucking like,
it feels eerie in your hand. Like, oh, is this
it's
old?
Very eerie.
Is this new?
What is this? Like, why is this 2015 or is this 22? Like, what is going on here? But I love it. It brought back a bullet tip. It's fucking sad.
Yeah.
Love it. But just, I love how there's just so many different things, you know, out there.
So it keeps it interesting. It's just like kendama tricks in general, you know, same thing. Or kendama play. I always like to equate those with, like we were talking before, like if you're a person who plays and understands kendama, then making a kendama is different than somebody who doesn't. And it's the same way, like applying that same kind of thing from the trick side of things to the making side of things. Where everybody has their own little vision, their own little vibe to it, and they just put that into it, whether they're taking inspiration from this person, that person, whatever. They're still bringing their own perspective, and that's how we grow as a community.
Exactly.
100%.
Everybody contributes. It's not just one. Otherwise, it'd be fucking boring.
True. It's kind of like in filmmaking or just storytelling in general, there's only 7 original ideas in the grand scheme of things. Everything
7? That's a lot. I thought it was only 3. At least
is there? I've always known it's like 7 because it's just like.
Keep
but
thinking,
everything's
bud.
like.
Keep thinking.
Come on! It's like man versus himself, man versus man versus was it nature? Kind of stuff.
Nature, but it's also like, you know, a love story or a horror story. You know, that kind of thing where it's like, you know, you got what is it called, the Odyssey, you know, but it's also been told as like Macbeth and like all that kind of shit. So like, you know, everything's like a spawn of something else. Like
right. It's all about the perspective. We all have the same colors to paint with on this canvas, but it's how you use it, what tools you bring to use to paint with, that can change everything.
Exactly.
And, yeah, and as well as the perspective thing, like, you know, as you just said, Rod, like if we go into the love for Ryan's cinematography world, if you're someone who is watching a movie compared to someone who is just like a normal person enjoying the movie compared to someone who has shot or filmed movies, you look at it completely different. You're like, how the hell they do that shot? Is that CG? Is that a dummy? Like, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm probably annoying to talk to about film because, like, there's certain people, like, obviously, like, I'll sit down and, like, I just won't shut up. Or I'll shut up for, like, 2.5 hours and I won't look at my phone or anything. But, like, there's those movies and TV shows you're just like, you can obviously talk through this, like, you know what's kind of going on. But, like, yeah, like, how, like, stuff is made and shot, or, like, did they actually use 35 for this? Like that new movie, The Holdovers, with Giamatti that he like won a bunch of shit for. That was actually shot on live stock too, like 35 millimeter film. And I'm just like, good job, Linklater. Like, you keep on doing your shit, bro.
And it's like, it's that appreciation that someone who understands it gives more to it. Appreciates it compared to just the everyday person, which there's no harm in that, but it's just, it's a different vibe.
You know, I nerd out about different things. You know what I mean? Like, in the back of yours, I see that you have the block one. The block Kendama. Yeah, that's so tight. Yeah, that thing is so sick. I've only seen that like one or twice.
It's nuts. It's the block / they took inspiration from the stove having the spike on the angle like that. No idea.
Yeah.
But
the cube Dama.
Episode 65, Dama Nerds. Ryan, Jewbacca, Plourd, going deep into a new, perspective of Kendama and what the industry is definitely like. Ryan, awesome to talk with you. Before you go, lightning round, this one versus that one. Let's hear your answers. The Psycho versus The Shining. Who wins?
God, probably Shining. I don't know. Oh God,
Singing in the Rain versus
Singing
Grease.
in the Rain. No, Singing in the Rain. That's my favorite film of all time.
Star Wars versus Spaceballs.
Ooh.
Star Wars. No, Spaceballs is so good. Oh, no, Brooks, man.
Starballs.
Bill Pax.
You only gotta choose one.
I'm gonna go with Star Wars because it's the reason why we are here.
If there was no Star Wars, there would be no Spaceballs. Hey, Lord of the Rings versus Princess Bride.
Oh no! Don't do that to me. That's shit,
dude.
Wait, are you just talking about the first Lord of the Rings, or are you just talking about the whole thing extended and shit?
Oh yeah, the extended
Princess Bride.
That's a terrible comparison because that's like 3 amazing, outstanding films of cinema
versus
next to the
Princess
perfect love story.
Buttercup.
Oh, in Wesley, it's if you don't believe in love, you obviously have never seen that movie. That is that's the best love story of all time.
Never seen a man fight a swamp rat. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, come back from the dead.
I mean, as you wish. I'm gonna say Princess Bride. To be honest with you, like Alyssa's gonna kill me. She's like, you didn't choose.
Inconceivable.
That's inconceivable.
Got Andre the Giant. I mean, come on, man.
Dude, you can't beat it. I'm sorry.
Harry
Savage.
Ella. So good. All right. Yeah, sorry. So
Ryan, thank you so much for all your time and all the stories. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Everyone who's been sticking it out this far with us, almost 3 hours.
Fucking nerds.
Pure nerd. Episode 5-6. Thank you all so much. Hey, recently I've been doing more work trying to release merch for Dama Nerds and Kendertainment. So be on that. We're trying to do every month a new round of goods. So be on the lookout for that on IG. Yeah. One awesome way to support, or hey, you can just support by liking, sharing these videos, these podcasts with your fellow Dama Nerds around you. And you can take it the next step and hang out with us on Patreon and
shout out
see
Patreon.
What's up. So thank you all so much. Everyone, seriously, thank you so much for everyone who supports. It's amazing. And we're here to nerd out.
Yeah, without you nerds supporting us nerds, we'd just be sitting here talking in a Zoom room. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Much love
I
to
mean,
all of
what do
you.
you guys got? Another 2 hours? Let's fucking go. Then.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I don't gotta work for another 8. Let's go.
My bladder has that much space, but hey,
thank you, everybody.
That's right.
Truly.
Let's take this away from the Shire back to the Spaceballs. Be the Princess Bride. Fight the Swamp Rat. Much love to all you nerds. And I think on that note, these nerds are out.